This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at Fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, everybody poops, and generally it's neither eventful nor newsworthy, unless you're the man of Florida who finally pooped out the $770,000 worth of diamonds that he stole from a Tiffany company. Now, he stole the diamonds, then swallowed the diamonds when the police caught up to him. 2 weeks later, in police custody, he pooped them out, giving the police the evidence they needed to pursue the charges. Now, swallowing the evidence might seem like an amateur move, but you might remember the guy in England who avoided drug charges after he swallowed his drug stash and then refused to defecate for 47 straight days. The police eventually let him go. And then last week, we told you about the man who's suing United Airlines after a pilot opened the bathroom door and yanked him out for, quote, taking too long. He'd been in there for 30 minutes because he was constipated, and his pants were still around his ankles when he was pulled out. Now, that is bad. We can all agree that's bad, but as we say all too often on the show, it could always be worse. Guy in Indiana, he was shot in the leg by his wife while he was sitting on the toilet. But at least he got to sit down. Person in England, they wanted to sit down, but they decided differently when a python slithered out of the bowl, just like Ted or his dreams. Today, we're talking about the bathroom, and today's question, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, quite simply is this. What's the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW. Oh, but y'all, away we go. Welcome to Season 20, Episode number 4,288. What a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, we'll be joined by Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs from the Daily Miggs Morning Show. We're going to sit and spin today, and it's all about the ladies. The top 10 female artists of the 21st century.
Uh-oh.
These are some ladies who have sold more albums, more singles, made more money than anyone else in the 21st century. Now,
I already have no idea. Well, Taylor Swift. I'm done.
Okay, well, it's not a bad guess. Beyonce's probably on the list. But there's a twist to this one today. Mike has put together a list of the songs, and they are not the hits.
Yeah.
The ones you know, the number one songs, the songs that made them the top 10 female artists of the 21st century, we're not playing those.
Correct, because sometimes you know the song by, just by the song itself, you know who the artist is. We're not going to do that today. I want to see if you guys know them by voice.
Exactly. And that's going to be a little bit more difficult, so we'll try to figure out. I mean, they've sold a ton of stuff. Can we identify the artist based on a non-popular song that they have? So Sit and Spin is coming up at 4:30. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll try. I mean, Taryn should be good. I'm not putting my money on Miggs. I'm not putting my money on you.
No.
I'm not putting my money. I think it's a Ted and Taryn race.
Yeah, I mean, most of it's just going to be pop music.
Yeah, so I think you two would do the best. I'm sure my daughter would probably go 10 for 10. My son would probably go 8 for 10. I'm predicting now, and I'm going to try. I'm going 0 for 10.
0 for 10.
I have no idea. Like, songs pop on the radio all the time, and because the kids listen to whatever they listen to. And I'll be like, who is this? And I can't believe I don't know. Or they'll bring up an artist at home, and I'm like, look, I know their name. I don't know a single song from them. And then they'll play me clips. I'm like, oh, okay, they do that song.
And on this beautiful sunny day in Seattle, a great day for a men's room IPA. We want you to join us on the Thursday for opening day down at Pioneer Tacos and Tequila as we do a live broadcast from 2 until 6. A's are coming into town, and we're going to have tacos, we're going to have tequila, we're going to have live Big Dummy, and hopefully if you're on your way down to the game, you'll stop in and hang out, man. Get a men's room IPA on draft, get a couple tacos, hang with us, be a part of the live broadcast, and enjoy your early start to the afternoon.
Yeah, what else you going to do? Buy cheaper peanuts and cheaper soda out there?
And that's a great place to be.
Cheaper on the outside.
Always cheaper on the outside.
Yes. And hopefully, in case it's raining, we'll be inside at Pioneer Tacos and Tequila. Maybe, Ted, you said the forecast not looking too bad for Thursday?
No, not bad. I mean, there might be some showers. They might have to close the roof during the game, but I think while we're sitting there at the bar, we should be okay.
When's all hell breaking loose? Is it tonight or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
There's thunderstorms and stuff in town.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thunderstorms and stuff.
Nothing wrong with a good thunderstorm in the springtime.
Sure, you can't just have one nice day.
Yeah, come on.
Take that thing right
now.
out.
Sure, they're saying it might be tornadoes. That's a different thing. But the thunderstorms, lovely.
Yes. And today on The Question, we're going to talk about eventful things in your lifetime, the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in the bathroom. And we start with this story. 2 weeks after a convicted thief allegedly swallowed valuable diamonds stolen from Tiffany & Company, the hospitalized suspect finally passed the $770,000 worth of gems that were lodged in his stomach. Following his arrest last month, Jathan Gilder, 32, he was admitted to an Orlando, Florida hospital to await the expulsion of the jewelry.
Why can't they just say poop?
We are unable to state which medical facility due to security reasons because of the value of what was in his colon.
So they're worried that if people knew what hospital he's in, someone would go fight for that bedpan.
He had
because
two
of the dollar now.
officers with him at all times, even when he was getting rid of this. So on March the 10th, he passed 3 of the 4 Tiffany earrings. The final Tiffany piece was pooped out on March 12th, 2 days later. In addition, on the 10th, Gilder also passed 2 unidentified earrings, so it's unclear when those items were consumed.
So this guy just going around swallowing jewelry everywhere.
So he didn't even steal those from Tiffany. This was like, Jesus Christ, man.
They don't even know where those came from.
Whose job is it to go through the poop? Because every time he pooped, it's in the bedpan, right? It's been 2 weeks of this. Is it the cops? Is it the doctor? Because it's not him. He'd be like, I'm not doing it. The doctors would be like, look, bro, that's not what we do here.
I feel like somehow that comes down on the nurse.
Really? I feel like the nurse is like, look, I have nothing to do with any civil stuff going on with this guy. If it's criminal, whatever. We just get rid of the waste. We don't dig through it. If the cops need to find, this is my position as the nurse. If it matters to you, you can dig through this.
Gilder was initially arrested February 26, about 6 hours after allegedly bolting from the Tiffany store in Orlando with 2 sets of solitaire earrings valued at a combined $769,000. Gilder, cops say, posed as a representative for an NBA player, and then he was ushered into a private room to examine several costly items. Now, as detailed in court filings, he was pulled over by Florida Highway Patrols as he drove on I-10. Troopers had received a be-on-the-lookout alert from Orlando cops and reported having to yank Gilder from his rented Mitsubishi Outlander. What's up with all the rented Mitsubishis these days? Doesn't VD have a rented Mitsubishi right now?
Because nobody wants to buy them.
Okay.
When you rent cars, it goes in cycles. I don't know how to explain it, but like it seems like whenever I rent a car, they have a fleet of a certain brand and type.
Something that it just
and then
didn't
it's like
so well.
a few months later, 6 months later, it seems it's like it's overhauled.
It used to be the Chrysler Sebring was the big rented car for a while.
A couple times I've got the Jeep Rubicon.
Mm-hmm.
Police believe Gilder was en route to Houston, Texas, where he lives with his 73-year-old mom. Gilder, investigators say, was talking with a closed mouth and was moving an object around using his tongue.
So, I got no my mouth.
He reportedly ignored directions to open his mouth.
No.
And started to chew.
Open your mouth. I'm not going to open my mouth.
Sounds like he's a dog.
And attempted to swallow what was in his mouth.
Aren't you kind of the cop at home?
Yeah, man.
Open your mouth.
Got to pry it open.
Well, initially, the cops feared that he might have ingested narcotics. So troopers drove Gilder to a local hospital to be medically cleared before he was taken to a jail. Now, at the hospital, Gilder refused treatment and evaluation while stating many times he did not want his stomach to be x-rayed.
Subtle, man.
It was during the subsequent jail intake process that Gilder was subjected to a scan that revealed foreign objects inside his body. While in the lockup, Gilder reportedly asked jailers, "Am I going to be charged with what's in my stomach?"
Shut up.
Previously, while sitting in the rear of a police car, Gilder amused, should have thrown him out the window. Now, while a search of Gilder's SUV did not turn up any jewelry, cops found a variety of incriminating evidence, including price tags, one for $609,000, the other for $160,000, that matched the exact cost of the earrings that were stolen from Tiffany.
That's coincidence, guys.
Either way, I guess he eventually
passed. 2 weeks later. Yeah.
Now, this is a crazier story. As they say, most humans are powerless to resist the urge to poop. And when duty calls, we're usually forced to drop a deuce at the closest place to squat, whether that's in a terrible bathroom in an airplane or, God forbid, in our pants. But faced with an intractable dilemma, either hold it in or go to prison. And one London man, and we've told you the story, had a will and a coal and a steel, and he beat the odds. He managed to avoid letting one go for 47 straight days. The fiasco started in January.
That's just impressive.
When British police arrested 24-year-old Lamar Chambers after he fled the cops in his car, allegedly swallowing drugs during the chase. Now, they charged him with possession with intent to supply Class A drugs, tossed him in a cell, waited for him to pass the evidence. Chambers, however, he refused to poop. The cops plied him with food, water, expecting his bowels to let up sometime. The days rolled on. He still would not give in. What seemed like a joke then escalated into an apparently deadly situation. One S-free week snowballed into more than a month without a movement. While the cops updated the public on the latest developments, #PooWatch, Chambers' attorney begged the court, "Let me go," claiming there was a potential of something going seriously wrong. Finally, after Chambers went 47 days without pinching a loaf, breaking a British record for the most time spent in police custody without deucing, the cops caved. They stuck him in a squad car and rushed him to the hospital, where a team of medical professionals did whatever the hell you do to treat someone who hasn't pooped in 6 weeks. They re-arrested Chambers on new lesser drug charges, and he's since been released. Though he might never be able to control his bowel movements again, against all odds, against all things decent and sane, he emerged from his self-imposed S-strike semi-victorious. To the police, perhaps, he's a villain. But to the everyday folks who have followed the saga since day one, he's kind of a pooping hero.
Yeah, that guy's unbelievable, man. I mean, think about it. They're giving you food and water. They're giving you things to make you poop because they know the evidence is in your rectum. You know that the evidence is in your rectum, and you say, "I'm going to outweigh you." 47 days and ended up on lesser drug charge. They couldn't get the evidence.
Yep. I don't know that his bodies might have absorbed some of it. He could have been buzzing for days on end.
I don't know what happened inside of him, but
seems amazing he never fell asleep and just pooped.
I just pooped his own pants or whatever.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, the cops are surveilling you the whole time. They're waiting for the moment, right? And just like, not doing it. Nope.
Yep.
I mean, I've talked about just not having the opportunity, and it's been hours, and you still have to go, but you can kind of fight it. But Jesus, man, for that many days.
I think the longest I've gone was 3 days, and that was on a camping trip.
Oh, jeez.
It's one of those deals where it's but it wasn't super urgent. It's I know I kind of have to poop because you're camping. There's nowhere convenient. It's not the end of the world, but if you don't have to, you're just not going to. So
right.
I'm just not going to. Well, at the end of the camping trip, I realized I really have not pooped in 3 days. I stopped at not a convenience store, a fast food restaurant, and finally let it loose. And yeah, I'm just
I'll tell you what, your body metabolism is moving when you're camping, whether you realize it or not, even if you're sitting in a chair. I used to, my friend group, we used to go hiking, and we used to go on hikes that were 45, 50 miles on a loop. It would take days at a time. We had the summer off, so that's what we would do. And when you have a 40-pound pack on, 35 pounds probably when I was 12, 13 years old, and you're hiking up mountains and you're sweating and you're putting in 7 to 8 to 10 to 12 miles a day, you can keep eating and your body is just burning everything.
Yeah, of course.
Then you get to the campsite. By the time you set up your tent, which is a physical activity, you get everything ready to go. You start cooking dinner. You do all this stuff. By the time you eat, you are absolutely starving. And the food is average, but it's the best
Average
food.
at best.
Yeah. But your body's just burning all of that stuff. So I don't know if it's that you have even as much poop in there as you think you do, because your body is seemingly taking all the nutrients and burning it out while you're doing all these activities.
But you still got the poop. Like you said, if you get a, Christ.
What?
Your butt thing. What is it? The colonoscopy. Right?
Yeah.
They still give you, hey, don't eat for 24 hours or whatever. And, you think you're empty back there, but they give you that stuff, and it's like, you're never empty back there. There's pounds of that stuff just sitting inside of you at any given moment.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And most of it is seemingly liquid, which is another weird thing.
Is it because of the stuff they give you, though?
I believe that doesn't give you enough time. Yeah, it doesn't give you enough time to
I feel like when it's liquidy in the back, there's no, hey, I'm waiting 3 days. It's like, I got 20 minutes and I need to get where I'm going.
That's it, yeah.
The large intestine does absorb the moisture out of it, so it's fathomable that early on there in the tubing, as it were, it's liquid and it's just kind of pulling all that out to eventually make the solid mass.
But if your colon absorbs most of the liquid,
sure,
and it's just a solid mass in your colon, wouldn't it just be a particularly dry solid? If you've already absorbed the moisture away, it's like, okay, well, now this is about as solid as it's going to be.
This stuff's pushing it all the way through. So that might be some small intestine stuff that it's pushing all the way out. Just no, express lane, get it all the way out of here.
What is the small intestine doing that the large intestine isn't?
It's pulling some other stuff as well. It's all pulling as it goes on down there, but the stuff that you're drinking is now flushing it and sending it all out.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Doesn't have time.
We told you this story earlier this week. A 20-year-old Orthodox Jewish man from New Jersey suing United Airlines. He claimed a pilot yanked him physically out of the bathroom for taking too long. Now, this happened January 28th while flying home from a trip to Mexico with a friend. A flight attendant woke his friend up from a nap and told him to go check on him because he'd been in the bathroom for 20 minutes. So the guy that he traveled with got the attention of the flight attendant and said, my buddy's been in there for 20 minutes. Will you just go knock on the door and make sure he's okay?
I would think that would set the stage for this to be less confrontational because you're saying, hey,
he woke up? I thought she woke him up.
No,
the friend who's traveling with him gets the attention of the flight attendant.
Okay.
So, and I say, man, my buddy Ted's been in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Can you check? But at the point that because I've alerted you, right? So that's a good sign. And then she taps on the door, you express what's going on. I would think that would have minimized how bad this gets.
So she knows.
I have seen this on a plane before. The guy didn't get dragged out, but it was 25 minutes, and the flight attendants were like, "Are you okay?"
Sure. That's exactly what happened here. Yeah. The flight attendant went up to the door, and the guy said, "I'm fine. I'm just very constipated." So they left him alone. But then a pilot got involved after he still hadn't come out 10 minutes later. So 30 minutes.
10 more minutes to get out of the bathroom before I go out there and kick the door down.
Now, according to lawsuits, the pilot started screaming and demanding him to come out immediately.
Get out of the bathroom.
Then broke the lock and opened the door. Broke the lock and opened the door.
Get out now.
All right, look, man, I'm sorry. And I know it's different technology. But if the guy driving the Greyhound bus, all right, if he walks to the back of the bus while the bus is still moving, knocks on the door and demands a guy get out of the bathroom, I'm scared for my life because no one's driving this thing.
Right.
Okay? I know planes are much different than that. But as a passenger, if I see the pilot banging on the bathroom door and we are still at 35,000 feet, I'm going to say to myself, who is flying this plane? And I know somebody else is. But
the co-pilot is.
I realize that. But at the same
my
time,
thought is more.
But you see them go in and out when they use the bathroom.
Yeah. They do, but they're using the bathroom. I guess my question would be, what do you think is going on in there at the point that the pilot has left the cockpit to address a guy who said he's constipated on the toilet?
This is
and
not
then when
your
you
job.
open the door, keep in mind, when the pilot opens the door, the fact that the guy's sitting there with his pants down, and I'm sure there's a smell that goes along with it, you apologize and say, you know what, now I have reason to believe you. Not grab him, yank him off the toilet with his pants still down.
Don't we still have the guys on the plane that
Air marshals?
Yeah, that everyone.
You might. It just depends what flight.
I don't think they're on every single flight.
No,
Okay.
they're not.
All right,
Just depends what flight you're on.
Gotcha. So the pilot comes up to the door. He breaks the lock on the door. You would think that they maybe have a key. I don't know how these things work in an airplane, but you would think that they'd be able to get in externally.
That is actually a good point, yes.
I'm sorry.
Someone on the plane
should be able to get in there, but he broke down the door, opened it on him. Guy's pants were down around his ankles, because that's what happens when you're using the bathroom.
If you do it right.
With his junk on full display. He says the pilot, flight attendants, and several passengers all got a good view of what he has going on down there. That pig in a blanket. He and his friend got handcuffed and escorted off. He and his friend. His friend also got handcuffed.
What did his friend do? I keep seeing on every version of the story, I keep seeing that his friend was also handcuffed when they landed. But in that one story, they identified anything that this guy did other than alert the flight attendant in the first place.
They kind of might have said they thought that they were terrorists. All right? Believe it or not. Airport cops put them in holding cells. Holding cells, because the guy was in the bathroom for 30 minutes. But eventually released them without filing any charges. So they are both suing, claiming they were treated unfairly. They also claim the pilot talked about them being Jewish and also made anti-Semitic remarks.
Jesus Christ, man.
While he was on the bathroom, on the throne there.
I mean, the whole thing seems a little way too aggressive.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen a flight attendant just be like, "You've got to talk to us. Like, people need the bathroom. Are you okay?"
Right.
But yeah, ripping him out of there and then arresting the other guy. It's like, if you were trying to commit crime, I wouldn't go be like, "Hey, Officer
my buddy's
Jones,
in the bathroom."
Miles, you know what I mean? Miles is about to do a crime. Check on him.
I was back in the waiting area, so to speak, where they put all the trays and crap like that in the very back of the airplane where the flight attendants sit. And we hit turbulence, and I'm standing waiting to go to the bathroom. I didn't realize the door was ajar, and when I started to walk back, you got to return to your seat. Okay, so I start walking. The door's flapping open. They can't see it because they're sitting on the sides.
Yeah.
And the door was open, and a woman was in there struggling. And what I could see her, and she reached for my hand like, "Please help me," kind of a thing. And I went back in there. I'm like, "Man, you need to get in there and help that woman. She is not in good shape, and I'm not going in there." And so they got up, but I still went back to my seat.
Yeah.
But they had to help her, and then they walked her back to her seat. She did not look good. I don't know if she was.
Did you get arrested for it?
No, I did not, because I didn't break into the bathroom.
That's nice you went back and told the flight attendants, though.
Well,
what would you have done? Just close the door? Like, I didn't see anything.
She was in distress. And
Damn, Ted.
Yeah.
You're even thinking about this?
Well, I got to get back to my seat.
Well, I didn't know if she was trying to close the door or she was reaching for me, but she was kind of over the sink and sideways, pants down. And
Can't park there.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And I still had to use the bathroom. What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, it's Gemma Spegg, host of the Open Mind original podcast, Mantra. Every Monday, I'll bring you a new mantra, a simple yet powerful phrase to help you clear your mind and stay grounded amidst the chaos. I'll also share some personal stories, journal prompts, and a weekly challenge to bring each mantra to life. Follow and listen to Mantra, an Odyssey podcast in partnership with Open Mind Studios, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Always live on the free Odyssey app from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Now, next Thursday, April the 3rd, it is Seattle Rock Day here on The Rock, our annual celebration where we celebrate Seattle's amazing music legacy. Mucus legacy for one full day.
It's moist.
6th year that we've been doing this, and we help out our friends at Smash, Seattle musicians access to sustainable health care. Those guys do amazing work. They provide medical, dental, mental health services, and more for free or for a very low cost.
Yeah.
For Seattle area musicians. So we'll be getting a little money from you. Donate now if you can at KISW.com. There is an auction going on as well.
That's right. Just Thursday, correct?
That is correct. I mean, you can bid on items, I guess, whenever you want, but either way, they're up for bidding, and we're going to try to raise as much money as we can for the fine folks at Smash. Other question, what is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Terrell. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, fellas.
Hola.
So I'm at work one day, old Victorian house in Seattle, very original, no locks on the bathroom. I was taught growing up, if the bathroom door is closed, you knock on it. So I get to the bathroom, I got to pee. and I'm in midstream, and the lady walks in, and we make eye contact. She's like, "Oh my God, Terrell, I'm sorry." So I'm expecting her to walk out, but she doesn't. She just drops her gaze, and she just stands there, and she's just staring at me for what seemed like forever, but I'm going to say a good solid 3 to 5 seconds.
Staring at you or your penis?
My penis. She is thoroughly staring at my penis for about 3 to 5 seconds.
Do you think that's the first black PP she'd ever seen?
I think so. Old rich white lady?
Yeah. All right. It was probably intriguing. You know, like, look at the size of that thing.
I mean, I was like, okay, it's flattering.
Hey, man,
but close the door.
Yes.
Get out.
I'm like, come on. We can talk about this later. We can make arrangements.
Make arrangements. Would you? Would you have done it?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Take one for the team.
I mean, money is money.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
$100 is $100.
There you go.
Made your cheat. What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
It's from a text. Says, I was in high school in 2004 using the bathroom. I hear some guys, they're talking about selling each other a gun. Well, I didn't want to be involved, so I put my feet up, pretended I wasn't there. One of them started messing with the gun and managed to accidentally shoot the toilet next to me through the stall wall. I thought I was going to die in that toilet.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'll tell you what.
Damn.
There's obviously in school, when you're going to get into a fight, for at least for guys, and I'm sure girls too, but fights spill into the bathroom or start in the bathroom or you meet in the bathroom or someone follows you in the bathroom. Blah, blah,
you
blah,
get more
blah, blah.
followed in there. Then.
Yeah. Now, I was on a toilet at this particular time, and two guys came in. I was in junior high, so I was in the 7th grade. These guys were 9th graders.
All right.
So they're a couple of years older than me. They are bigger guys. I'm sure that they were older than the regular 9th grader. Okay?
Yes.
Because they were also two guys that I know went to vocational school. So they actually did drive to go do their afternoons at a different school. All right. So they were getting into it about something. And I'm like, look, man, I just got underway, but I'm getting out of there because Are
you pooping?
Yes.
All right.
But I wipe, I finish up, I get up to walk out of the stall. They are going at it. Now they're wrestling at this point in time, but the way the urinals were in this bathroom, they were floor to like say chest high.
Yeah.
You know, like especially when you're that old. At least they were for me. They kind of fell, and the one dude's face goes into the urinal. I mean, like they tackled each other into the urinal. Into the urinal. Like both their heads are, but the one, all of a sudden you just see all this red blood.
Jesus.
Coming off the back of the urinal because he cracked his head wide open when they were wrestling and fell into the urinal. It seems to me like the last place you want to fall or get into a fight, the most dangerous place, just even if you're not into a fight, in your house is your bathroom. It's
just gross.
That's hard.
But I feel like at school, it's just natural.
Because you want to hide, right?
Right, you can't get a fight in class. Generally, if you have recess or lunchroom, like there's always people around. It's like the bathrooms where you get it done.
Yeah, and the guy was going, stop, 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 stop. And the other guy, once he saw the blood, so he jumped back up, and then he picked him up, and then he looked at him, he's like, oh, man, all right, I'll be right back. So he just left. He left. So then he left. So then I went down and got a teacher, the first teacher I saw that was standing in the hallway, which was a woman. She did not feel comfortable going into the boys' bathroom. So then she went and got Mr. Munchin, who was the gym teacher.
Mr. Munchin.
Mr. Munchin.
Great name.
And I was in there, and I had paper towels in this guy's head because, the gash that was opened up on his head, and he was out of it. He was He was holding on to my shoulders, and he was a bigger dude. He was trying to stand up. I'm trying to keep his head, from bleeding, and it was just like, I don't know.
You just wanted to poop. That's all you wanted to do. You wanted to poop.
Yeah, I was in there taking a poop. What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Andy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola, picholas.
Hola.
So, long-time listener, Buzz Days. Happy 20th.
Wow,
thank you, bro.
That's a long time, dude.
Yeah. Been a long time. BJ Shea back then, too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So, this is back in 94. I was 19 years old. This is the summer. Got my first real gig at a hotel working 11 to 7, so I had the overnight shift. About an hour into the shift, one of the adjacent hotel clerk gives me a call. She's kind of like she's basically like a gargoyle. Sounds like a lounge singer who's been smoking for 40 years. And so we talk back and forth and just how your evening's going. Well, this particular evening, she has a young lady on the phone. I say younger now, but anyway, she was 21. I was 19. She asked me, hey, where's a local place I can go drink? And I don't know. So all I have to judge for what I got for her is just like, oh, here's this bar if you want to do karaoke. Here's this bar if you like beer. Here's this bar, nightclub. And that's just only for what I know from hotel guests coming in. And so she's like, and then she gives me a call back again about an hour later, and she's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just working, just hanging out, waiting for checking in guests. And about 30 minutes after that, she comes walking in through the double doors of this hotel and wearing nothing but basically like a men's sports coat. So she has a sports coat on, high heels, has a pitcher with whatever concoction that she has in this thing, which tastes like orange juice and vodka. And she called it like a sex on the beach at the time with like 2 little plastic cups. She's like, well, where can we go party? And I'm like, I'm working. And so she's like, well, let's go back here. And so she took me in the back where the employee bathroom is and proceeded to take off her sports coat, grabbed a little protective Jimmy cover, and I basically gave her the best 5 minutes of my life.
The best
nice.
5.
Best 5, man.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and that was it. And it was done and over with. And she put on her sports coat, gave me a kiss on the forehead, basically like a good boy, and left. And that was it. And the only reason I can actually tell this story is because I had a girlfriend at the time, a friend, who was sitting on the manager's chair in the office and saw this whole thing go down.
Gee.
That was my only thing. So her mouth was wide open. My mouth was wide open. And I'm like, that did not exactly happen. What just happened? And she's like, I have no idea. Well, come to find out, this girl was leaving, going across seas because she was going to school, doing some sort of internship over in London.
How long did you keep that job?
Oh, it was like 6 months. It was actually, it was a lot of eye-opening experiences. That was the first time I actually experienced to see what a prostitute and an escort really what the difference is.
Okay. All right.
Escorts. That was quite the thing. It was like, thanks, honey, and she'd come out and get a mint, and then you had one that was just smoking out the cigarette, going, thanks, honey. It's great.
Yeah.
So
we see both downtown.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Obviously, you can tell. It's like cars, there's real expensive ones and there's cheap ones that have a couple $100,000.
And you can tell just by looking.
They're worn. They still run, but they're not.
The call girls that go across the street of the hotel, they are quality. They are definitely.
I can't even imagine what that costs.
No, if you're staying at that hotel, you already have more money than anyone I know. Yeah. And then, like I said, based on the quality of what they're having delivered to their rooms, I'm like, it must be nice to have that kind of money.
It's like a steak dinner.
Yeah, no kidding. But
that's what's always so weird about,
dinner.
Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he got busted going to, like, a massage parlor.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember when you see those stories, I always go, that guy has so much money. Like, there's got to be somebody who can pay for that.
That's what I mean. Like, dude,
like
you
that
have
high end, like that stuff exists.
It absolutely exists. We see it across the street every day, man. Like, bro, you got a private jet. Certainly, you can get one of these girls.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Norm. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. How's it going, guys?
We're doing great, Norm. Thanks, man.
Good. So I'm more of one that was on the way to the bathroom.
Okay.
Hope that works. Anyways, me and my buddies were drinking in California, San Diego area, and my buddy and his girlfriend said, "Hey, does anyone want to go check out the LA Angels Stadium down there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." And I was the only one out of the group. Everyone else stayed and partied. We get down there. around Gas Lamp District. I don't know if you guys have been there before.
Very familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe it's not the LA Angels Stadium. It was like, sorry, I'm not too big on baseball. The baseball stadium down in San Diego.
Yeah, for the pod. Petco.
Petco Park.
Petco
Park.
Okay, yeah, that's it. So anyways, I tell them, like, hey, I got to use the bathroom. Like, whenever I drink beer, like, it goes down me, like, super fast. And we stopped, and we're by, like, this mall around there. This happened back in, like, 2015, I want to say. And I get out, and I could either go to the mall, to this whole park garage, or I could go to, like, some businesses along the area. So I go to the 3 businesses I see. I go in one, they say, no public bathrooms. Second one, nope. Third one, nope. And then the fourth one, I go in, and it looks like a restaurant, I think. You walk in, I can either go right to, like, the bar, restaurant area, or left down this hallway. I'm like, okay, the bathroom's probably to the left. And I'm in my Seahawks jersey, granted. And I go down left, I go to the hall, I pass the kitchen, no one's in there, no one's around. It looks super clean, like a big industrial kitchen. And I need to go really bad. I tried to open the door, it was locked. I tried to open, like, the other door. And, it's dark in that room. I close it, and it's like it's probably like their server room, like your kind of computers and whatnot going around. And I just have to go. So I drop right there, number one. And did what I had to do. I had to go. I exited the room, and it looks like this employee, like, he's going the opposite way in the hallway of me. I have my Seahawks gear, my sunglasses on, and I just kind of dart to the exit. I don't really stay. And he kind of, out of the side of my view, he double takes, and he's like, "Wait, what the heck? Who's this guy?" So I get outside. I go to my buddy's van, and I'm like, yo, we got to go, like, right now. And then they're like, what'd you do? I was like, no, we have to go, like, right now. Well, we're not going unless you tell us, like, what you did. And I'm just like, guys, come on. And then I think it was maybe the manager. He came out. I was looking outside because I was in the car by this point. And he came out of the place I was at and walked directly to our car. And then he was like, hey, did anyone come out here that was in the Seahawks jersey? And then no. And I'm in my jersey still with my sunglasses on, and then
that'll throw him off.
Yeah, shades on. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. My buddy, he starts the car and we just go off, and then I see him, the manager, like, take a picture of her license plate, washing the plate, and that was it. So
you never heard from him again, though.
No, it's probably my second time in California, and then my third time I wanted to go check it out was years later, and I heard they did a bunch of construction and took that mall out.
And man,
so
where are you? Because you sound like you're scuba diving.
Sorry, I'm driving in my car, and I'm going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Underwater, I'm guessing.
Right. What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Somebody from the text line says, my buddy was a combat veteran. He saw the worst of the worst in Iraq on his 4 tours. But he says the worst blood-curdling scream that he ever heard was at boot camp at Fort Benning, where during a training exercise, someone used an outhouse and let his manhood hang a little too far under the seat. And when he sat down, the black widow spider living there did not like that at all and bit him right on the tip. I've become very weary of outhouses. Yeah, man, I cannot imagine.
There's always spider in outhouses.
No. There's always spider.
And not like porta potties, right?
Yeah, an outhouse.
Correct.
Much different, man.
And it's very rare that you use an outhouse, but there's always spiders in there.
Spiders and every freaking thing. Man, the worst I was not on the toilet, but when I first moved to New Orleans, I was unaware that they had palmetto bugs, which is just a massive, massive flying cockroach, right? And it's disturbing, all right? So I realized on day one that these things exist. And like anything, the warmer and more humid the place is, take any bug, make it 10 times bigger. Right, so you're looking at a picture, right? Yeah. So I had about 3 good months where I didn't have any in my home. You just see them outside. It's exactly what those bitches look like, all right? So I have to go to work. It's like 11 in the morning, maybe. I'm butt naked. I get in the shower, and when I close the shower curtain, keep in mind the water's running the whole thing. When I close the shower curtain, one of those things is in the shower with me, but it's on the shower curtain. And I'm just like, oh, S. And I realize that it's ridiculous. Like, look, man, 10 out of 10 times, if you got a scrap of this bug, you win. There's nothing about this should freak you out. That's what I kept telling myself. The thing is, the whole situation kept freaking me out. So now I'm not even showering. Basically, I have my back pressed against the wall. The water's in front of me, maybe hitting my chest. And this goddamn bug is just sitting directly in front of me on the shower curtain. It skeeves me out. And again, they don't bite. They don't stink. They do nothing. It's just a giant roach. So I'm trying to shake the shower curtain to see if this thing will just fly off and leave. It wouldn't work, man. It just this bug was determined to be there. So I'm in there for about 15 minutes. I can feel the water starting to get cold, and I'm like, all right, man, I know this is in your head. You're just letting this bug you. It's not going to do anything. But I still just couldn't get myself to swat it away. So basically, spread out my arms, grab both sides of the shower curtain, and close it completely from both sides. That way the bug is somewhere in the middle. I don't know if it's alive or not. And then I essentially dive out of the shower. So I take down the shower pole, the shower curtain, land on top of it. Just like everywhere in New Orleans, you probably live above a business if you don't own a home, which I did. And you have those wraparound balconies. Man, I dragged that thing. And keep in mind, I'm butt-ass naked. I dragged that shower curtain outside onto the balcony. There's a laundromat across the street, and I swear to God, it's like everyone in there, their heads look up because there's such crazy. They're doing exactly what you think, Mike. Shaking the shower curtain.
It's a crazy naked man shaking his shower curtain on the balcony.
When I finally realized it wasn't there anymore, I took my marginally wet, naked ass back inside, smoked a cigarette. I'm like, I know that was ridiculous. That's the only way I could overcome that moment, man.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at Fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Hey, what's the easiest way to find out what channel the game's on? Sports on What? Subscribe to the Sports on What app and quickly find the channel for every provider. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Download today.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in the bathroom? 206-803-ROCK. Here is a weird one. A giant snake was found after a resident in Swindon had the shock of their lifetime. After finding it in their toilet. That snake has now been reunited with its owner.
That's the part that kind of threw me off.
A resident in sheltered housing made a call they probably never thought they'd have to make to report that a royal python snake had slithered up into their toilet bowl. Staff from the Swindon Borough Council and their leaders teamed up with the housing response officers and an on-call contractor to safely remove the royal python and stop it from exploring any other nearby toilets. The team faced an overnight stakeout as the snake slithered out of the toilet and tried to hide under the bathtub. They eventually managed to rescue it. At the time, the council said the snake had rehomed with cold-blooded creatures, a reptile shop that was in town. They shared photos of the snake on social media with some details about the unusual call-out.
Oh, hey, man, that's my snake.
The post read, not your average day at the office. 2 weeks ago, an unexpected guest slithered its way up from a sheltered housing residence's toilet. You read that right. A royal python gave our teams a very unusual call-out. They were able to reunite the snake with its owner, believe it or not.
How did they figure out who the owner was?
After they put it on social media, And that spread, someone said, hey, that is my snake. And it's now been returned with its rightful owner. It turns out the python named Ka is a much-loved pet who had escaped from a private property. These events are rare, so thanks to everyone who helped safely capture and care for Ka before she was returned home.
Yay.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't check your toilets.
Our question, what is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
A couple of quick texts here. Says that we're back to outhouses. Says a friend of mine and I, we were in eastern Washington. Came across a shack-type outhouse. Me went in, sat down, and mid-poop, he was attacked by yellow jackets that were also in the outhouse.
Oh, man.
That sucks, man.
So I've told you guys this story before, but I went to use the bathroom in eastern Washington, basically in the desert.
Yeah.
All right. So there was a little hut. I walk around the back of the hut. It's a little stand where they sell beers and stuff when you're playing golf.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a woman walking in there. There's no bathroom with that facility, but I needed to use the bathroom bad.
Yeah.
So I go around the back of this shed and I start peeing. And I'm telling you, I had not started peeing for more than 2 or 3 seconds, and I see the head of this snake from behind coming through my legs. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so I start peeing to the left as he's coming right down the middle of my legs. And he's not stopping. He keeps getting fatter, but he's getting far. He's still between my legs.
Yeah.
It's just the middle of the snake right now. This thing is huge. And it had a very distinct head on it. And I'm like, oh man, I'm looking at the back of it. I'm like, that is a rattlesnake. I know that's a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
I grew up in rattlesnake territory. That has the shape of a rattlesnake. The markings are different. That is a rattlesnake. And I'm telling you, man, his rattle flicked when he went through and hit the side of my shoe.
Ugh.
And it made the rattle when it hit my shoe. I'm still peeing.
Right.
And at this point in time, I am basically just frozen. I zipped my pants up. I walked around. My buddy's there waiting for me. He's ordering beers. And he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, the biggest snake in the world just went between my legs. And he's like, no way. So we go out back in the shed, and I'm like, look at that thing. And he's like, oh, my God, that thing is huge. You know, I've seen rattlesnakes out there before.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that one that big. And I could not believe it was going between my legs while
you're peeing.
Actively using the bathroom. I mean, it freaked me.
Do you think it would have
out.
snapped at you if you peed on it? Because keep in mind, it knows what you're doing, right? It's going through your legs. You're already peeing. So there's clearly a stream. It is hitting the ground directly in front of it. And like you said, it did not change its course. You had to angle yourself away.
Correct. Yeah.
Do you think it would have snapped at you?
I mean, I'm so glad it didn't, because the head on that thing was huge, and I just couldn't believe how big. It just kept getting fatter. Like maybe it already eaten
Probably
something.
just eaten, yeah.
But I mean, the middle of that snake was so thick, and then that rattle was bigger than I thought it was going to be.
And it hit you.
And it hit my shoe, and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
That snake's setting you up, man.
Yeah.
Another text here. Speaking of animals, this is a very unusual one. Says you're asking about bathroom shenanigans. I'm 63 years old, and back in the mid-'60s when I was a child, my parents took me to a zoo / sideshow / whatever kind of deal that had animals. We'd been walking around, and there was a zookeeper with a chimpanzee on the leash. Remember, this is the mid-'60s. We continue walking around doing our stuff, but I needed to go to the bathroom. As my father and I walk in, we see that the zookeeper is taking a leak. The chimp is sitting behind him still on the leash, but the leash is long enough that the chimp sees me and decides that he's going to have a little payback. He grabs my ankle with his foot and sends me across the bathroom floor into the opposite wall. Immediately, the handler gets control of him so it doesn't get any nastier than that, but the fact remains, I'm one of the few people you will ever meet who's gotten his ass beaten by a chimp.
Wow.
Particularly in a bathroom. Yeah.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Morgan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How's it going, boys?
We're doing great, Morgan. Thank you, man.
All right, so my story takes place at an old bar that I used to work at, and a regular came back and told me that the bathroom was a mess, which was confusing because I had just used the bathroom like 30 minutes prior, and the confusing thing was when I entered the bathroom, there was liquid everywhere.
As in liquid poop?
Poop?
Both varieties.
Okay.
full floor, and then in front of the urinal, or where the stall was, the poop, or the mound of poop, I should say, was in front of the toilet.
So close.
So that was the confusing part. Was I have no idea. The toilet wasn't clogged or anything. I tested it, but there was just a mound of poop in front of the toilet and just liquid everywhere. Like a good solid thick layer all over the bathroom.
Could you just do any deduction by looking around the bar at the patrons that were in there and try to figure out, who probably was the guilty culprit?
I know who did it. Super nice, sweet old guy. But still don't know how to denominate how that happened.
But wait, you had to clean this up?
Oh, yeah, I cleaned it up.
Did you ask him about it if you know it's him?
Oh, no, he took off immediately.
Now, you said that you did not work at this bar, correct?
No, I did.
No, he did.
Okay, you did work at
So
the
one of
bar.
the regulars came in and was like, hey,
one of the regulars,
bathroom's a
right.
mess.
So where do you even start when there's a mountain of poop? I assume that's the thing you address first.
Yeah, well, essentially I kind of took some trash bags and put them over my arms and my feet and just kind of went at it. Not without dry heaving and other things.
How long did it take you to clean this up to the point where it's satisfactory?
About an hour.
Okay. Did that guy ever come back into the bar, being a regular?
Nope.
He did not. So that was his.
Nope.
That was his last trip into your establishment.
Yeah,
Damn.
so I don't know if we were a great place for him to come to, or if that was just his last hurrah, or.
Yeah, that's bizarre. I mean, look, if I did that someplace and I was identified,
if you're identified,
I'm not going back. I'm sorry, I can't walk in there ever again because I'm that guy.
It depends. It depends. All right. So, like at our local watering hole, I would just have to take it on the teeth. Like, yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, man. Because I really like my bar. I'm one of the regulars there, and it's like, yeah, guys, look, it was me. For whatever reason, I dropped a mountain of poop in front of them. I'd go back there, but
also, look, if that's your bar and you know the bartender, you know the people in there, if you do that consciously, you cannot walk out of that bar without being responsible for cleaning up that mess if you were so
or at
capable
least
of doing
saying something. To
Listen,
someone.
do you have a bucket? I need this, and this because I had a horrible accident in the bathroom. It's not your job to clean this up. Just make sure that no one goes in there because I'm going to be in there for a little while.
Yeah.
What are your cleaning supplies? This ain't on you. I will do the best I can.
At our watering hole,
But if you're doing that in the bathroom, I'm assuming that guy has to be sick or something.
Maybe so.
You
would
couldn't
think
sit
so.
in there and
Right.
clean it up. I probably would just be like, I destroyed the bathroom. It is gross. I got to go home. I'm sorry.
I'm going to clean this up for you.
Because that seems like more than like he got too drunk. That seems like there's something medically wrong with him.
Yeah, we had a dishwasher quit. One of the if you work at a restaurant and you are the dishwasher, just understand you clean up anything. So yeah, you do the dishes, but you're also taking out the trash. But also you get to clean the bathrooms. On a normal day, it's not the end of the world. But when something goes south, during business hours, man, it's on you. And we had this dishwasher worked with us for like 3 years. And in any restaurant, if you can keep a dishwasher that long, cool. I never saw the bathroom, but I heard the word get to him. Hey, Jim, somebody had an accident in the ladies' room. We just need you to tackle it. And he's busy, but it's still like, understood. Jim walks in there. Then I hear him. He's kind of talking to the chef, and they're going back and forth a little bit. Jim's like, I quit. It's like, I am not cleaning that up. So they sent one of the wait staff in there. I never visually saw how bad it was, but the chick who ended up cleaning it up, Sue, I think was her name. She's like, oh, it was bad. She goes, I don't even understand how what I saw happen, but it happened. I can see why Jim quit. It's like, damn, man. I mean, he was like, I'm out of here. F this.
I was a janitor, but literally the first night I got there to do that job, they were like, you got to go clean up bathroom. Because somebody had peed all over the floor.
I can live with the pee. It's the poop where you're like, man. Because like he said, when there's a mountain of it, like, do you have a shovel? Right? Like a mop's not going to do anything. What do you do? Like he said,
that's a good question. I don't know that I ever had to clean up poop off the floor.
Yeah, like a mountain of it. Like I don't even know where to begin with this, man. He said, to his credit, he put trash bags over his hands and arms and all that. But I'm not trying to scoop that up with my hands, even if there's something that ain't working, man.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
It'd be so hard not to puke.
Yeah. And there's no way. There's a bigger mess in here because I'm throwing up. Hello, Eli. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, Pichola.
Hola.
Okay, so check this out. It happened about 40 years ago. I'm stationed in Germany, and I'm a medic, right? I'm working in the clinic, and it is like 2:30 in the morning, at night. Nothing's going on. It's like the time where you're trying hard to do whatever you can to stay awake.
Sure.
Right? So all of a sudden, we get this lady. She comes in, and she's like, oh, and she's screaming, and she's like, and I'm like, what happened? What happened? It's an emergency room, right? So she goes, there's a dead body. There's a dead body. And I'm like, okay, where's the dead body? Where's the dead body? She goes, well, so the clinic that I worked at, we shared the parking lot with the bowling alley, right?
Okay.
So they said, okay. And she said, it's at the bowling alley. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it's me and Polly, and we're working, just two of us. And Polly's is like 5 foot nothing, really little tiny little girl, right? So I'm like, okay, and so thinking we had to transport a dead body, I'm like, okay, Polly, you get in the ambulance, because the driveway to the emergency room's off to the side, right? So I said, Polly, you go, because she's got to go around the block and then come up to the front of where the bowling alley's at. And I said, okay, so I'll grab my jump kit and I'll run over there, right? So, and I grab the jump kit and it's like 2:30 o'clock in the morning, right? So I'm trying to talk to her, like, okay, tell me about this body. She's like, oh, we're closing and I'm checking and there's the body, and I'm like, okay, cool. So on my mind, I'm okay. In my mind, I'm like, what am I gonna do? So we get to the bowling alley, and I open up the doors, and it's dark, right? It's closed, and I'm like, okay, where's the body? It's like, oh, and then she's pointing over there, and I'm like, where? And I go and I run up, and in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, a body in the bathroom. Okay, all right, so cool. So I go in there, and ladies following me, right? So we get to I get to shoes, and I'm like, where's, I'm expecting now, open the door to the bathroom, and bam, the body's right there, right? And I'm like, where's the body? She goes, it's in there. She's going to one of the stalls. So I'm like, okay. So, and I'm like, hey, knocking on the door. Hey, bro, to the men's bathroom. Hey, bro, you doing okay? And I crack the door and see, and it's this guy, his body, he was taking a dump, and he fell. He passed out. And he wedged in between the toilet and the wall right next to him. And his head cracked up from the side of the wall, and his pants, and he's got poop, and he's got pee. I'm just like, oh. I'm like, whoa. Right? I'm like, okay.
So wait, was this guy still alive?
See, I thought he was dead. I mean, dead body, right? I mean, and there's poop on his face, and I'm just like, oh, man, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to give mouth to mouth to this guy, right? Because it ain't going to happen, bro.
He made a judgment call. The brother's going to die right here.
Just let him die.
Bro. I'm like, hey, say la vie, bro. So I'm like, all right, so, well, I got to pull him out because Chris is dead in the corner, bro. He's all scrunched up. So I'm like, okay. So then I grab his ankle and I start tugging him just to get him out. Just I'm like, does he have a pulse or just whatever? And as I'm pulling, he goes, oh, hey, what? Stop! He jumps up, and me and the lady, we're like, ah! All at the same time. And the guy's jumping like, what the hell? And he's taking his pants on, and he's running out the bathroom door. And just as he gets to the bathroom door, Polly, she had driven the ambulance all the way around. She pulled the gurney out, and she pulled me into the bathroom. And the guy, he's slams up the door, and he bumps into Paulie, and they both go, ah! And I'm just like, what the hell happened? I mean, it was just like, what the, like, oh my God, it was,
You okay?
But the dude was alive.
he was alive.
Are you okay?
Okay.
Okay.
It was just so, oh my God.
All right. Well, at least the guy was alive, you know? Jesus. That guy loves that story. Tell that story on the screen to call.
Did it get through?
He wasn't quite that enthusiastic. No.
Okay.
He didn't show that much verve for his story.
Right.
He loves that story, man. Gracious.
Wow.
Okay.
I heard about half of what he said, but I was laughing because, my man, it was contagious.
It was hard to hear what he was saying. He was like a little hyena.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jonathan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
I don't know if I'll have as much enthusiasm as that last guy, but
You
I'll
won't.
try.
Yeah, all right. Don't even attempt it.
That's a tough act to follow. But I got an interesting one for you. A few years ago, I had thrown out my back to where nerve on nerve on nerve, and it was just the most painful thing I ever had. I make it to the doctor. He prescribes me some opiate-based pain medicine. I go home a couple days later, feeling a little bit better. Not knowing at the time, these opiate-based medicines make you extremely constipated and makes it extremely hard to pass. So I limp to the bathroom because I got to go, and I sit down, and boom, I'm sitting nerve on nerve on nerve. I'm at a level 1,000 of pain, and I start to pass this door log, which gets stuck.
Oh, no.
And it's not going back in. It's not breaking off. It's not coming out. And it is rock hard. So I'm freaking out. I couldn't throw myself off the toilet if I wanted to because of my back. And here I am dilated like a kangaroo, and I don't know what to do. I'm by myself. And I'm there for about 2 hours.
Oh, my God.
Just at no idea what to do. If I push, if I pull, if I try to get nothing's working. My phone is at 6%, and I have to make a critical call right now. I got to call 911.
My phone is at 6%.
What do you tell 911, man?
I got to call somebody. I got to call Roto-Rooter or somebody because I'm in trouble. And I'm literally at 2 hours. And I'm telling you, I was trying to pass a 6-pack of Duralogs, and now my phone's down to 4%, and I know my front door is locked, and I don't know what to do. So I call 911, and I try to explain as quickly as I can with my 3% remaining on my phone, and told them to kick in the door if they have to, but there's going to be no one there to greet them. And that's exactly what happened. My phone died, and about 12 minutes later, the 911 showed up, and they were all just like, what the heck are we going to do here? And I tell you what, about 6 of the biggest guys I could see in a plank, in a stretcher come in, and they all put their arms around me, and they say, okay, 1, 2, 3, this is going to be nice. And they grab me and throw me on this thing. I didn't stop crying for like 5 hours. It hurt so bad.
Did you ever finally poop?
Well, they had to extract it with some kind of device, but yeah, it was definitely. I wasn't witnessing it firsthand, but they had all kinds.
This thing's hanging out like a tail. When they put you on the gurney, I mean, are you face down?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a tail. I would say it's a log.
All right,
and it's not flexible. It's not bending. It's not doing nothing.
You couldn't grab the damn thing and try to pull it out?
Oh, I'm sure I could have, but I didn't want to.
But he can't mess because of his back.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So he can't move.
All right.
Damn. Yeah, I can't move. I cannot lean 1/4 inch forward, back, side to side, because I'm sitting on these 2 discs that are raw to raw nerve.
How's your back now?
Really,
How's your back now?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's great.
Okay, cool.
I tell you what, that was the last time I took any kind of opiate-based medicine.
Yeah, I mean, when I've had surgery and they give you those, generally the doctor will tell you, go buy stool softener too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He didn't get that message.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? What a question. 206-803-ROCK.
The Women's Hoop Show, a podcast hosted by me, Jordan Robinson, brings you fresh women's basketball voices and breakdowns every week. I'll be joined by hoop experts all year long. Find the Women's Hoop Show on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Tara Daly, Steve Mix on the Daily Mix Morning Show. Coming up, we will sit and spin at 4:30 the top 10 female artists of the 21st century. That's coming up after emails on our question, what is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chet. Welcome to the men's room.
Yeah, hey.
Hola.
Hey, love the show, you guys.
Hey, thank you, Chad. Appreciate it, man.
Okay, so I'm in my 50s now, man. This is the late 80s, and I have my first job. I was 15 and a half, and I'm washing dishes at this bowling alley in Renton. It was a restaurant and lounge. And I would wash dishes, and I was constantly trying to get dishes back into that lounge because the ladies would show up at night, and I just want to get back there and see them dancing and stuff. They would never let me back there. The bouncer come running back into my kitchen one night, and he's like, hey, drop the mop in the bucket, man. I need you to come with me. I was like, where? And he's like, to the bathroom back here. Some chick just puked all over the bathroom. We're like, sorry, man, I'm not old enough to go back there and push in the bucket. He had a few choice words for me that night.
I bet he did.
Sorry, man.
Look, man. Hey, the rules are rules, right?
Yep. Got to follow them.
That's right.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Why not?
That's a good outlet. Yeah, man.
Hey, you won't let me in.
I'd love to, but I can't.
What's the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
I mean, these are all pretty gross ones. But the one I still tell is that I went to see our buddy Steve Miggs, right? He's playing in this all-star hockey game.
Yeah.
So it's down like where the T-Birds play. But after the game, they kind of clear out the arena, and then it's like the local celebrities are going to play.
All right.
So obviously, a lot of people just go to the T-Birds game. They don't really care about this game. So it's pretty empty. Now, we've been sitting there hanging out for a while, and I go to use the bathroom. You've heard me tell the story, but I'm washing my hands, and I just hear that kid, Mister. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, I don't want to turn around, right? So finally, I'm like, third Mister. I turn around, and he's like, I can't get my zipper up. Right? Now, his little equipment is gone.
Right.
But he's just standing there, right? And, like, his pants are undone. He's just, he's like, I don't know, 5 or 6. So I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? Well, we go, all right. In my head, I'm like, I'm just going to help him. So, I mean, as much as you can hold, I don't know what this is, right? Like my pointer finger
and your thumb, and that's it.
Right. And I'm trying to stay as far away from his tiny little body as I can, but I just buckle his pants, zip him up, like, all right. And I mean, I take off. So I go back to the seats, and I'm telling this story, but I could spot this kid has better seats with his parents, and he's down there. And I could see him talking to him, and then I see him scan the crowd, and he's pointing at me.
Oh, no.
And that's what I was like.
Oh, no.
Like, damn. Yeah.
We were at a gym years ago. It was me and Miles, man. It's back in Baltimore. And I didn't know kids could be at this gym. But anyway, we've been playing basketball. I'm taking a leak in the bathroom, and I'm the only other person in there is this little kid, and as little kids do when they pee. His pants are all the way down to his ankles, and he's standing at the little urinal. And I just hear him go, hello, right? So I look at him, and again, he's standing there with no pants on. I just went, no. And I cut it off mid-scream and just walked away.
No.
I'm like, I want nothing to do with this. I know it's just an innocent kid saying what he's saying, but I'm like, I'm not talking to you with your pants.
I've had people insult me. I've been in bad neighborhoods, and like sometimes somebody yell at something on the street, or they're chirping you as you're, like, I've had that. I've had somebody challenge me to a fight on the street in bad neighborhoods. But I don't know. When you're a grown-up and you hear some kid and you have no relation to that kid, you're just like, I don't want to help him. Like, I helped him, but it's just like,
I don't want to do this, man. I'm telling you, the best I've had in a bathroom, and I've told this one before. Miles and I flew down to San Diego, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever it was, and we landed like midnight, 12:30. So it's late. There's no one at the airport, and we get off the plane. We go to the bathroom. I'm taking a leak. Miles is taking a dump. Now, understand that on this flight from Seattle to San Diego, as best we could tell, the flight attendant is flirting with Miles, right? Pretty much the entire flight. So now we're in there. It's just the two of us. So Miles is in the stall, can't see anything, but you're telling me, like, oh, man. And think of the filthiest things that you would say. 'Cause she was good looking. And Miles is like, oh, man, like, if this were her stop, I'd have done this and let her do this. And he's going through the whole thing with all the words. Well, as Miles is doing this, his father walks in with his kid, and this kid is maybe 5 or 6 years old, man. And the father's like, the kid's young enough that the father's even standing behind him at the urinal kind of thing, you know? And the kid's peeing, and Miles is just going on and on. I mean, super graphic.
Really bad.
So now, because his father's in there, I can see the father's now mean mugging me, right? I can see him in my periphery, and I'm just eyes locked forward at the urinal, and I'm doing everything I can not to smile or laugh, but the whole time, Miles is not shutting up. I mean, there's no break in this, man. So it keeps going on and on. I finish up before the kid and the father do, so I wash my hands, walk back out to the airport gate, man, and I'm now dying. I mean, I am dying of laughter sitting out there. The look on Miles' face when he walked out of the bathroom, just like, you couldn't give me a warning, man? I'm like,
anything?
There's no chance. That was too freaking hilarious for me. It was so filthy.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Yeah. That kid learned a lot that day.
Yes, he did.
I guarantee you, Dad,
about anatomy.
A lot of questions.
That's not how it works.
Hello, Sandra. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello. Hola.
Hola.
So I have back in the 90s story. I get a call from a bar, local after hours place. Me and my best friend always went, and they're like, dude, you got to come get your girl. What? Why? She's had too much to drink. You need to get down here and you need to come get her. So fine. I'm at home. You know, I decided I wasn't going out that night, and I was passed out. So I get up and I get myself down to the club and everything. Kind of got to be at least somewhat presentable. I got to go in there. I walk in, and there's this line of girls trying to get into the bathroom, and my friend screaming at them that they're not allowed to come in because they're going to look at her while she's puking, and she's covered in vomit, sitting on the floor. And this is a dive place. It didn't even have doors. It had like curtains hanging, so you just walk through the curtain to get to the toilet, and she's sitting on the floor just covered in her own vomit all over the toilet. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get her home without getting puke all over my car? So I basically made her strip down as she was getting in the car to take her home. But she was so drunk, she wasn't letting anybody come into the bathroom to use the other toilet or anything. Like, she was just completely humiliated that she was puking. Didn't remember anything the next day.
I was going to say, that's the movie where you go, what happened? You go, do I really need to go through this and revisit this again?
It's like, you are not going to believe this one.
Yeah.
How did they know she was your girl?
Her and I frequent that place together a lot, and I don't know if she was together enough to give him my number. I'm assuming that because nobody had my number there. So I don't have any clue. I just know I answered the phone, and they're like, you got to get your girl.
Are you still friends?
I'm like, actually, yes, we are.
Yeah.
We have been friends since we were 12, and we're 52 now.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those things that you're the right person to call.
Yep, I'm that girl.
Yep, nothing wrong with
Think
that.
of the
Man.
friend
Yeah,
that-
I mean, hey, look, man,
They've seen all of your bad stuff.
Yes, and probably they're going to get your back as well.
Oh, yeah.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that has happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, Drew.
Hola.
Oh, Ted.
I will say, we just looked at each other when you're like, what's up, Thurls?
No, man, I like how you start. Yeah.
I keep it relevant. Yesterday, guy took a crap on the work floor.
On the work floor?
Well, in the bathroom, but on the floor.
It's the floor is the floor. Like, I don't care if it's the bathroom or the living room at that point. Like, bro, come on.
Was this a coworker or was this somebody that was not a coworker?
We don't. There's cameras all over the place. I don't know why they bothered, but supposedly everybody's on blast now. Somebody took a crap on the floor.
Damn. Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know what to do with all that.
But wait, there's cameras in the bathroom?
It's Amazon. It's an Amazon facility.
There's cameras in the bathroom of an Amazon facility?
No, they're not in the right. No, but I mean they can see who went in there and they have a time frame.
Okay, all right. So wasn't your job to clean it up, was it?
I didn't have anything to do with it.
I know, but you didn't have to clean it up.
No, I'm not maintenance.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well,
Do you have a suspicion of who it may have been? Just among
Not
your
at all.
coworkers? Really?
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I wonder if they're an upset employee or they just couldn't make it to the bathroom.
It was paper on the poop, so they definitely made a process. They
I might say
put
that.
it all together.
Look and see who turns in their 2 weeks or quit that day. Maybe that's the right way to go about that.
Yeah,
process.
I think you might be tracking that.
Yeah. What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803.
That's spiteful.
That is spiteful. But say it was our bathroom, right? A limited number of people bother to show up at work now, right?
All right.
But we get an email that says, look, one of you here, let's take the regular. So you take all the morning shows. They generally show up. We're here, a couple of bosses down there. Our boy Drew shows up every day. But they said, look, somebody took a dump in the middle of the floor of the men's bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Where would your suspicion go first? I'm noodling through, like... My first guy, and this sounds bad, he's not this kind of guy, but the one guy that would play the most pranks here would be Castle. It depends.
I mean, I got to say, I think a lot of people will look at you.
Of course they look at me, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, that's fair, I wouldn't, but I would understand people will come to me first. I would think they would address Castle. And honestly, man, I think it would end there.
I have never really had a bad work situation as far as the bathroom goes, except for the fact I've told the story before, and it's not a good story, but the old building, we had a coworker. And I walked in there, and I had never in my life smelled anything that vile to the point where, like say, hold your breath.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. You could not breathe. It was so bad. It was so bad. And I came back to the desk, and I said, hey, man, the guy in the bathroom, he's going to die.
Yeah, that is a quote.
He's going to die. This is not an exaggeration. I am telling you the honest to God truth. Whoever's in the bathroom right now is not going to make it. There is no way that his body is functioning normally to any capacity based on what is going on in there right now.
And I remember my response was like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
be that
bad.
bad.
He ain't going to die.
Yeah,
He died.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Yeah, a few months later.
Did it have anything to do with his bowel movements?
I don't think it has something to do with his bowel movements, but the way Miles described it, like, whatever's wrong with his body, the evidence you get from the outside looking in, it's something to do with the bowel movements, right? So I don't think that's exactly what killed him, but there's evidence that he was in decline based on, because Miles was being dead serious, man. Like, no, man, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
My point of view is like, man, you cannot make a judgment that this man's going to die in the near future.
Just based on the smell.
Just because his poop smells
But
that
I'm like,
bad.
yes, I am.
And then, a couple months later, we get the sad email. It's just like, oh, man.
Told you.
Miles
But I
was
mean,
like,
it
I
could
called
have
it.
been a bad coincidence.
It
Like,
could
just
have.
for instance, somebody could have cancer and then also just have a very terrible bowel movement.
It's true.
I don't know if there's a direct connection.
I can tell you there is.
He was,
I can
like
tell
I
you
said,
there
Miles
is.
was certain about that. That same bathroom, man. We finished the show. It's like 6:05. I got to take a dump. No big deal. I go in there. There's no one in there because the building's pretty empty. Then the maintenance guy comes in, all right? And you can just hear him open the door. You can hear his keys jangling, so I know it's maintenance. But there's only 2 stalls, and his footsteps are just to get to the stall. The door closes, and I just hear the words, that ain't going to think. I said, are you talking to me, man? And so he slows down. Sorry, it is going to stink. And I'm like, oh, dude, don't worry. And then
Yeah.
he was not kidding. I'm like, oh, my God, man. He's like, sorry, man. I'm like, stop apologizing. I'm just going to wipe my ass and get out
I'll
of
tell
here.
you
Like,
something.
it was
Pretty weird.
bad.
Well, sometimes you just know, too, right?
He knew.
Like Friday, I went to the basketball game. Like, we had a long day, right? We basically just ate bar food all day. So I had a buddy spend the night on my couch in my other room. So next morning, he's kind of putting around or whatever. And finally, I said, "Are you leaving or not?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" I said, "Hey, can you just finish brushing your teeth?" Right? It is 10:15. I have been crowding for half an hour, and you're pacing back and forth, right? Because I was just like, I don't want to blow it up because you're my guest.
Yeah.
You need to brush your teeth and shower, but like it's good. Like same thing. It's going to stink.
It's going to think.
What is the most eventful or bizarre thing that's happened to you in a bathroom? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I've got two. One's gross and one's not gross. I'll start with the not gross one to mix it up. I was going to try and call in with these before your trip to Africa, Miles, but never got a chance. But my wife and I were out there on a safari. We were in tents. This place was kind of along a river, so you can see the hippos out there during the day. But anyway, middle of the night, one of us wakes up, got to go pee, wakes up the other one just for moving around in the tent. I'm like, all right, well, we'll both go. So both head out. The bathroom building, it's a physical building, but that men's and women's entrance is on opposite sides, so you can actually see the door. So it's like, all right, we'll go. We'll see you out here, and then we'll walk back. So I come out, and I'm waiting, and I hear this shout from my wife from the other side. Like, what the heck? And she comes running around the corner, kind of grabs me to head back to the tent. Like, what's going on? I came out of the bathroom, and I was face-to-face with a hippo.
Oh, my God.
And the way she described it, her reaction and the hippo's reaction was the same, like, oh, what are you doing here? And they both booked it in opposite directions.
That is the best case scenario with the hippo, man.
Listen, they're extreme. I didn't know this. They are extremely nocturnal. They're awake during the day, man, but they are active at night.
Really?
So I took a cab ride in Victoria downtown to this restaurant, a bar, and it's dusk or whatever. And we get down there, and the cab driver, he's like, I'm going to give you my number, so whenever you're ready, man, just call me and pick me up. And I'm like, to be honest with you, man, I was like, that's probably a quarter of a mile. I didn't realize how close it was. I said, I'll just walk back to the hotel room. And he's like, no, you can't walk back to the hotel room. And I'm like, look, man, it's like, it's easy. I know exactly the road. I know exactly where I'm going. He's like, sir, I will pick you up and take you back free of charge. You cannot walk that way at night. And I'm like, why? And he's like, the hippos will kill you. And I'm like, it's a residential neighborhood, dude.
Right.
It's not like I'm on the riverbank. It's a residential. I'm walking on a street with sidewalks. You know, like this is a downtown area. Because you cannot walk home at night. Nobody is out at night. You cannot walk out at night unless you have a gun.
Jesus.
So he came back and picked my ass up. I never saw a hippo there. Nothing like that. But, I mean, he was adamant about it.
Hell, I'd believe him.
What was the nasty one?
Guess we got lucky with the hippo there. The nasty one, same trip, different location out in the Serengeti, but same kind of setup. Like the tents are 300-400 feet away from the bathroom building. Middle of the night, I got that feeling. You probably all know that feeling of like, oh, I ate something I shouldn't.
Yep.
So kind of get dressed. It's kind of chilly out there, and about halfway to the bathroom, it's like, well, not going to make it. So find a little bush out there and pop a squat and let it happen. And I look out into the darkness, and there's all these eyes out there glowing in my headlight. I think they're too far away to see what it is. Could be anything. I just think I'm going to die with the runs, being eaten by a hyena or a pack of hyenas in the middle of it.
That's probably what it was, too. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
It is probably what it was. Yeah. Well, they probably smelled it and were like, nope.
Hell, man, Lake 22. Have you ever done Lake 22 in the hike?
Is that the one with the beautiful lake with the mountain reflected?
There's like three
there?
little Finger Lakes up there.
Yeah, okay.
And
Like, it's to get to like one of those little lakes. It's relatively easy.
Yeah. All right. And there's three of them. I've only done Lake 22.
I think that's the one I've done.
But there's a bathroom at the bottom of it. And I'm hiking with a buddy. I cannot remember who I was with. We get to the parking lot. He goes to use the bathroom. I think, who the hell was this? It might have been Hair Club. And he goes, man, you got to check this out. And flashing the phone flashlight down into that hole.
Yeah.
And there are eyes down there.
Oh.
We could not make, they're red. You couldn't make out what it was.
No, thank you.
And I'm like, what is that? Raccoon? Is that an impala? I'm like, what? I mean, it's in a pile of poop. Because that's dug into the ground down there. Like you're just dropping straight into a hole. And there's these red eyes just looking up. I'm like, rat, maybe? Like, rats don't live in the woods, do they?
But I'm not using that hole.
Rats don't live in the woods, do they?
Rats live everywhere. We have established this.
Okay. See, to me, rats just live in the city. So I was just thinking to myself, what in the hell is that thing?
Those are city rats.
Yeah. Those are country rats. Taryn Daly, Steve Mix, coming off the Daily Mix Morning Show. We'll send Spill. We got the top 10 female artists of the 21st century on the way at 4:30. And your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, hey, can you put the game on? At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Tara Daly, Steve Mason, Daily Mix Morning Show on the way. Today we'll sit and spin with all ladies, the top 10 female artists of the 21st century.
Okay.
Let's go up until 4:30 right after emails now from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Couple from today, bathroom. Ola guys, the most eventful thing that happened to me in a bathroom happened back in my security days. Got to work early and was BSing with the boss until it was time to clock in. As soon as I do, he says, now that you're on, go deal with the guy in the men's bathroom. Some guy was in there trying to dig a splinter out of his foot with tweezers. There was so much blood on the counter and floor, it looked like a crime scene. After I chased him off, I asked the boss, how long is that guy in there? 30 minutes or so, but I pay you to deal with that stuff. That from Big Pun in Kennewick.
Can you pay me more?
Yes. Guys, a friend and I had been drinking, then decided to go to the movies. When the preview started, I went to the bathroom. I immediately sat on the floor and started hugging the bowl. After a lot of throwing up, I went back to my seat. When I got there, the movie credits were rolling. I had spent the entire 2+ hours blowing chunks. Good times.
Damn.
That from Bruce. On to the birthdays. Brought to you by Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company. Gentlemen, we would love to get a very special birthday shout out to Olin, pronounced the Diesel, as he turns 11 today. He loves you guys and is always quoting the show.
Oh, boy.
Can I get a few thrill shotgun gets? Your penis is too small. And Coach Ted pumping him up about how much better middle school is going to be compared to elementary. Thank you, guys, and rock on. Lots of love. That from Dad, Mom, and the big bro. Kick! Kick! Kick!
Going into middle school, huh?
Middle school.
All right, middle school is better. Seems like once you get to middle school, you get to do a field trip or something. Go see something cool. Don't forget to get that permission slip signed. Other than that, I don't know. What is middle school? One less recess?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe a little less snack time. Naps out of the way. But you're growing. You're a goddamn grown man now.
Oh, guys, want to have you guys wish Tyler the best 12th birthday ever. He's been listening to you guys his whole life and has always had a good time with this segment. It's a bummer he has to go to school on a special day, but at least it's Florida education, so they don't ask too much of him. He would love some green beans, an OG fish sandwich, the captain on how that sweet, sweet jelly gets inside toaster strudels, and some dad jokes for Miles. You guys rock. Thanks for all the laughs for all these years. Lots of love. That from Dad and Mayra.
Green bean. What? Green bean. Okay. Green bean.
Two Oregon fish sandwich.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. There's a misconception out there that it's jelly in those toaster strudels. I mean, it's jelly because we call it jelly, but it's like how we call bee vomit honey. I mean, sure, it's honey, but we named it that. But in the end, it's vomit. And in this case, let's just say that the Pillsbury Doughboy, stuffs each strudel himself with his jelly, fired from his jelly cannon. I'll let you do the math. Crunch berries.
All right, Tyler, you're 12.
I wish I'd remembered that.
Do we have any jokes for a 12-year-old?
Oh, no.
He just learned about jelly.
What do you call a person who does not own a phone? What do you call a person who does not own a phone?
Nothing.
You don't, yes.
Yeah, they don't have a phone.
Why is Peter Pan always flying?
I don't know.
Because he never lands.
Okay.
That's what I believe. God, this is hard.
I mean, you could use kind of the same joke about what do you call a dog with no legs?
You don't.
Right.
He's not coming.
He's not coming.
Guys, I had a dream I was floating in an ocean of orange soda.
Was it a fantasy? All right.
Mm-hmm.
You know the brother's going to get that one right.
Well, hey, I got a little crush on that joke.
Oh, hey now.
Look out. Get out of here.
We got orange soda jokes.
We got a fade to go
Bet
on
you
this
didn't know
segment.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mike, he got Fago in.
Yeah.
What's left?
That Sunkiss.
I was going to say, look at that sun-kissed skin of his.
Sunny D.
Good day, gentle sirs. Please help me wish my son, Noah Fox, a happy 22nd birthday. I couldn't be prouder of the son, brother, and all-around human he is. Please give him some Ray Lewis's Can I Grow Up? And some good old dad jokes for Miles. P.S. Go Terps until they face the Razorbacks on Saturday. Noah's a faithful fan and picked the Hogs to win it all. Woo Pig Suey. Lots of love, guys. That from Noah's dad, West Seattle Josh.
It's time to take off the leash.
That's fine. Terps making it Saturday. I'm pumped.
You got to, so when you came out of your mother's womb, that the cord had to be cut.
Can anyone know what Ray was talking about in that
No.
Yeah.
Say, play it again. Has been disturbed. There was a point that you got to, so when you came out of your mother's womb, that the cord had to be cut.
I mean, it's not such a medical school.
Well, he's saying you came out of your mom's womb, they cut the cord, so like stop being a little baby. Be a grown-up. Own what you're doing.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, I speak Ray Lewis.
Think order has been disturbed.
All right, I can actually do some dad jokes now. Guys, my grandfather, he came back from the war with one leg.
Oh, yeah?
No idea who it belongs to. Someone called my phone earlier, sneezed, coughed, and then hung up. Another cold call. Ted, what is R. Kelly's favorite musical group? What is R. Kelly's favorite musical group?
R. Kelly's favorite music
Yes,
group.
yes.
The Blue Man Group?
No, the Black Eyed Peas.
Loves Fergie. Drip, drip.
Why is it called a menstrual cycle when it only happens to women?
Yeah, I thought it'd be funnier.
What do you call a person who cleans vacuums for a living?
I don't know.
A vacuum cleaner. I got more. I got a pair of shoes with memory foam insoles.
Oh, yeah?
Now I'd never forget why I walked into the kitchen. And finally, what actress is one hell of an oarsman? What actress is one hell of an oarsman?
Kate Beckinsale?
Lisa Kudrow.
Bro. I was trying to think of anything to do with a boat.
Greetings, men of the room. Birthday shout out to my favorite clown, Colin, a.k.a. Captain Jackaloff, who was a friend of great intelligence and adventure. A dangerous combo of fun, I say. Colin, whatever you do, I hope it's a great day. That from Nikki, Kate, and Josh. Please play some farts. And the captain, speaking of, the Captain Jackaloff. One seaman to another. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. That from Kobali.
The end of that is just wet.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. And that was from the front. Well, I'm a captain, C-A-P'-N, not technically a captain, and the United States military has requested that I don't have communication with other actual captains for various reasons. That said, I'm familiar with Captain Jackaloff because While we don't talk much, I heard that our seamen have met on a pillow. Congratulations.
Come on.
Crunchberries.
Gentlemen, I want to wish my colleague Stacy a very happy birthday. She does an awesome job as our video and photo expert. With her warmth and good vibes and smarts, make her a true pleasure to be around. And glad to work with her. Could you get a Ray Lewis? Snap a picture of yourself and the captain telling her about the time he and the mascots put together a photo shoot for a calendar. Rock on and thank you guys. That from Alex.
Snap a picture of yourself.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. While the calendar was very popular in the mascot world, there's a misnomer, and we did an actual photo shoot. What you saw were some of the images that the police removed from Toucan Sam's hidden phone. Seems that feathery little pervert had been taking secret pictures of us mascots in compromising positions, but I think Frankenberry got it the worst. He is the result of multiple bodies being stitched together, let's just say. He has many more penises than any one person needs. It was slightly unsightly and very upsetting, but we still made him Mr. October, and he was a hit. Crunchberries.
Boys, want to wish a birthday to my brother Phil Doe. It's his 39th birthday. He spent it in the hospital with his girlfriend while she was getting back surgery. So can the captain tell him how to enjoy his birthday night while his lady is recovering without being able to use her legs? Also, I have some Fritos for you. Cheers, Phil. I love you, brother. That from Ryan.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Actually, I found that some of my best birthdays involved women who had no use of their legs. For example, the Land O'Lakes lady, she's not actually kneeling. Believe it or not, she's a double amputee. And she has no way to use her legs, but the things she can do with her mouth. That's actually what inspired the Kool-Aid man to start saying, oh, yeah. And speaking of Fritos, her breath smells like that a lot. Crunchberries.
And gentlemen, please wish my best Bud Grady a fantastic 54th birthday with a bong rip and coked up Ted giving him advice on how to play guitar faster. P.S. Can't wait to see you out at the Miles Montgomery Golf Classic. 4! And from the Lone Hippie.
The Lone Hippie.
You know, this was pretty simple, Miles. What you want to do is go to practice, right? Bring a bunch of cocaine with you. You go in there, you grab that drummer, and you go, look, I know you're an idiot. We're doing coke tonight. Play fast. I'm going to play faster. How do I know? I don't know. I let the coke go through my fingers.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
Hey, it's Gemma Spegg, host of the Open Mind Original podcast, Mantra. Every Monday, I'll bring you a new mantra, a simple yet powerful phrase to help you clear your mind and stay grounded amidst the chaos. I'll also share some personal stories, journal prompts, and a weekly challenge to bring each mantra to life. Follow and listen to Mantra, an Odyssey podcast in partnership with Open Mind Studios, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Here at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. Astronomers believe the Blaze star is due to explode any night now, resulting in a nova that's visible with the unaided eye.
What would be the Blaze star? Is that just what they're calling it?
It's just what they're calling it. It's not necessarily a single star. It's more of a system of two that are close together. So they're
ripping each other apart and doing that kind of thing.
A little surprised you don't know this one. No, it's a white dwarf star, if I'm not mistaken, next to one that is dying, and so the white dwarf is
sucking all the gas. Yeah.
Right, and so now that's due to explode at any time because it's taken on too much.
All right.
So, and then they're saying that nova is going to be just so brilliant that we will be able to see it. Not here because the clouds are on their way back, but
assuming there's no clouds, yeah, cool.
Yeah, we should be able to see it here from the ground without any telescopes or anything like that.
Well, the nice thing, if it happens, you should be able to see it for a hot minute.
Right.
It's not like a one-day thing. I mean, it's...
Which I would love to see that. I want to see how brilliant that is in the night sky.
I read once, it was like in the 1700s or something.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't quite know what it was, but basically a star went supernova.
Right.
You know, but they're just on the ground, so just one night you look up in the sky and it looks like a massive, massive star of odd color. So I'm like, That's pretty cool, man.
Pretty cool, man. A new study found that regular consumption of sugary drinks can cause your intestines to physically adapt to absorbing more sugar, creating actually a molecular addiction.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Molecular.
It means it's not just in your head; it's in your.
It's become a part of your system.
Right. It's in your guts. That they need more sugar now.
I did read a story today. There's a new sweetener that they're saying is like healthy and it really does help your metabolism out of South America, like from a root or something.
Okay.
But basically, it's just like the equivalent of Splenda, but it's all natural.
Right.
And it's supposed to actually improve, like if you're diabetic or all these things like this.
Well, agave is kind of that, right? Because Ted turned me onto the agave thing. And you're not kidding, dude. It is a great sweetener. Yeah.
Hell yeah. We need to do better about our food.
I mean, sugar doesn't shock me, though, that you get addicted to it.
Oh, 100%.
Like I said, I have a lot of friends that have quit drinking, and that's the one main thing.
Turn to sweets?
Well, just because you forget, like, all the alcohol turns into sugar in your body.
Right.
So they're just like, man, I never had a sweet tooth. I really have one at night now.
Right. That happened to my my mother-in-law. You know, she did the dry January, and she said the biggest problem was just that she was craving sugar. Same thing. End of the night. Like, I just...
See, that's why I don't do that.
Right, you have a glass or two or a couple beers a night, like, right, just you don't think about it, but like your body's like, oh, sweet, there's the sugar.
Experts say wearing socks could improve your sleep.
Really?
I have no idea how, but yeah, it could.
That's really uncomfortable.
I am pro shoes and socks, but it feels weird to wear them sleeping.
I feel you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I feel you. It's too constricting on my feet. I can't do it.
Yeah. Like, if I fall asleep with them on, I'm like annoyed.
Yeah.
I have passed out.
Well,
right. I mean, that's the difference. I am not going to sleep with them on, but I have passed the F out. Yeah.
Doctors are increasingly being asked to use AI when diagnosing patients to avoid making mistakes, creating the issue, who's to blame when the AI makes the mistake?
Maybe that's why they're doing it. Like, oh, hey, man, it wasn't us. Can't sue us. We had nothing to do with it.
Complete plausible deniability there?
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't diagnose you. It did.
Right.
We're responding to what it said your issue
But
was.
if they're just going to be using AI to avoid mistakes, why can't I just tell AI what I got going on and then let it answer it? And then if I decide, like, I don't think that's true, then I can go to the doctor, reduce
I'm
a little
sure
bit of
you
traffic in
could.
the emergency rooms and whatnot.
It would just cost you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. It would just cost you money to do the same thing they're doing.
Demand for facial hair surgery is soaring.
What?
Facial hair surgery.
All right,
To get
that
it
makes
removed
sense.
or to add it?
No,
Add it.
probably to add it.
Yeah,
Because if you could do it to the top of your head, some people just can't grow a beard.
exactly. So now you can staple one to your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, 20 years now, everybody's going to be good looking with a full head of hair.
Damn right,
It's
man.
going to be wild. Every chick has Botox.
Perfect teeth.
Yeah.
It's still ugly. You got perfect teeth, you got a full head of hair, but your face is still, you know.
San Diego has become the first city to ban digital-only coupons.
Banning them.
Yeah. You ever been to the store and they're like, hey, here's this coupon, but it's only on our
It's
app.
only on the
Oh,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Actually,
ban-
that drives me up a wall.
I'm with you.
Well,
like
because
I'm
the
in the
thing is, you become part of their whatever club.
Right.
But I mean, I'm already a member of the club.
Exactly.
But you
don't
I'm
have
in the
the app,
store,
Ted.
right? But then it's like it's like, come on,
Right.
And then
Right.
I've also sat there behind somebody in line, and they're just like, "What do you mean? Like, it's right there."
Right. It's on my phone number. I type in my phone number every time I doggone check out of this store because you made me, because that, you ran up the prices of every doggone thing. So you're charging normal prices as long as I put my damn phone number in.
Right.
Now to get the decreased prices even more so, I have to get your stupid app, and then I have to actually physically go in there, add that coupon to my phone number. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good and easy way to sell the third-party information, all that. You guys went through it when you went with the All-Star game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everything was an app.
Christ.
Everything's an
Everything's
you don't have to just download it.
Right. Steve, what day is it, my friend?
Today is Hug a Walrus Day.
International Day of Achievers. You are absolutely
So
correct.
close.
But how do they get it done all the time?
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 simple steps to make the most of every day. Here's what you do. Wake up, jump out of bed, have a glass of water, start that coffee. Then turn the lights down low and do 10 minutes of deep breathing meditation. Center your inner chi. Eat a light, nourishing, healthy breakfast while you jot down what you're thankful for in your gratitude journal. Are you kidding me? You get up, you walk the dog, you feed the dog, you drink coffee, you smoke 3 cigarettes, you shower, and you head into this hellhole and deal with you four messed up degenerates. Happy Tuesday.
Well, thank you, VD.
He does overachieve on that.
He does. He's a brilliant achiever on that. So these are 10 simple steps to make the most of every day. If anybody needs to, boost themselves up a little bit and just kind of take life by the horns, here's 10 ways to get it done.
I'm just still laughing about last week. We were talking about something about morning people versus night people. It's like, yeah, but I don't come in your room at 11 p.m. and go, get up.
Exactly.
I'm ready to talk now.
Stay awake.
The show doesn't even come on until midnight.
Well, I'm sorry to say, Ted, the first thing they tell you to do is to wake up early. Early mornings are quiet, peaceful, productive, energizing, and my favorite part of the day, it says.
It depends how early you have to get up because it depends on kids.
Yes.
And on the weekends, like in theory, I can get up, say 7 o'clock in the morning. It will not be peaceful.
Sure.
Because they are up, they are about, and they need and want when they see you. So I can wake up at 7, but I will still lay in bed until about 8:30.
It also depends on what you consider to be waking up early. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning, 5 days a week. Now, I don't need to, so I consider 6 a.m. to be early. However, there are people that have been awake for 3 hours.
People like my wife.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll go to bed at like 4:30 in the morning. And she gets stuff. It is peaceful. No one's trying to get up that early.
Yeah.
I've been to Target. I did the laundry. I did the, dude, it's 7:15 a.m. She's like, I'm done for the day. What do you want to do?
Right.
Like,
I didn't know Target opened that early.
Bro, it's amazing what I wake up to on the weekends. Like, how many stores have you been to? It's like 7.
There's a whole world you're missing out on, old night owl over there, bud. They say to eat right. The food that we put into our bodies becomes the fuel on which it runs. We are wise to make sure that it is the right kind of fuel at every meal. Just be sure to include some protein in your breakfast, and your mind will be sharper and clearer because of it. And I have seen that change before. There were days when I was taking better care of myself. Where if I was giving myself the quote-unquote balanced breakfast, as it were, I felt great throughout the day. Shocking how that happens.
Funny how that works.
Drink water, too. Just at the end of the day, just drink water. They say exercise. Again, these are 10 simple steps to make the most out of every day. According to recent studies, people who exercise regularly report to be happier, calmer, and better equipped to handle whatever the day decides to throw at them. Interestingly enough, these studies seem to indicate these benefits were experienced on a day-to-day basis, which means that you can begin experiencing them today by choosing to exercise just 20 minutes.
Yep.
And I will scream it from the rooftops. Whether or not you have weights at home or something, you can find all kinds of just body weight videos on YouTube that are 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
Again, just make sure that you throw them a like and a share and a subscribe or whatever the hell, because that's how they, if they helped you out, help them out a little bit. That's
Sure. Right. I mean, that's how they make money and get deals.
Exactly. Help them out a little bit. 10 simple steps to make the most out of every day. Accomplish one big task. We always hear about making the bed every morning. However, we all have projects, work, and requirements for our time, things that we need to accomplish. Likely, your to-do list is longer than you can accomplish in one day, but to make the most of this day, choose one big thing on your list and do it first.
Or if you don't have time, do a couple small ones.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You might not have that time of the day, but try to do something.
Right. We've all seen the to-do list. It's daunting. It's standing there, and it's just staring you right in the face. You're not going to tackle it all in one day. And if you are, you're going to be exhausted for the next day. You're not going to be able to enjoy anything. Just chip away at that doggone thing. Just chip away at it. Do one thing that you love. Apart from the day-to-day requirements of living life, you have dreams, goals, and hopes. You know what, Miles? You go right ahead, buddy. Yeah. You have hobbies that you love and activities that breathe life into who you are. Embrace these life-giving opportunities and do one thing every day that you love. Yeah. You need to find peace every day.
I make it a point to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to at least do one thing. All right? Leave me the hell alone.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Rest effectively. Rest is as essential to our bodies as the food and water and air. Our bodies need to be refreshed on a daily basis and a weekly basis. Do not neglect to schedule rest, and don't feel guilty about it when you do so. And I'll harp on people about that. I know people that feel guilty when they crash in the middle of the day on a weekend. I could be getting so much stuff done.
You could be, but your body said
right. You're going to half-ass it because you're
tired.
Right.
Honestly, people just don't sleep that much.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but they don't.
Yeah, no kidding.
I get tired thinking about their schedules.
I look forward to sleep now.
I'm with you, Miles.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hell with it. I'm going upstairs.
I'm out of here.
What am I missing?
Right. But it's the same thing.
It is funny.
Do you guilt yourself when you sit down and you have a meal in the middle of the day because you're hungry? No, you don't. All right, so don't give yourself crap for sleeping when you're tired. If you're legit tired, lay down, crash for a little while.
Yeah.
Be present with others, they say. Again, 10 simple steps to make the most out of every day. Put away distractions. Engage in conversation. Ask questions. Give time for answers. And look people in the eye when you do. Their eyes reveal far more than their words. 100%.
That is true.
Like when I'm in a group of people, I'm fine not messing with my phone.
Yeah.
I struggle more when I'm just sitting at home by myself.
Right. Just tooling around trying to find something to do.
Or you look something up in the commercial break.
Yep.
I did it last night. I lost 20 minutes. I was like, I forgot I was watching this show.
Right, because you get immersed in something else.
Yeah, damn you, Wikipedia.
They say nurture your soul. Our lives are more than flesh and blood. They're also mind and heart and soul. Find time each day to feed your soul by embracing gratitude, laughter, hope, faith, whichever you need to do. But get into spirituality a little bit. Whatever form that looks like for you, it's healthy for you. And that'll leave you with this one, the last of the 10 simple steps to make the most of every day. And again, it's very simple. They just say to reset. Tomorrow's another day with a great potential and opportunity. You'll want to begin it with a clean slate and a fresh start. Take 10 minutes each evening to clear the clutter, refresh your home for the next day. Tomorrow's self will thank you for it. Today is among the greatest gifts that we've ever been given. Let's use it wisely and refuse to waste a single one.
As I've gotten older, I realize that depending what the situation is, like, okay, how mad will tomorrow's Steve be at me right now if I just don't do blank? And usually you go like, he will be pissed. All right. Tomorrow, Steve, I got your back right now. Just do this thing that you don't feel like doing. Get it done.
Right. Switch it up. How happy will tomorrow you be?
Right. How happy will tomorrow me be if
Thanks,
I did this 10-minute chore right now?
You packed a sandwich in the fridge for me today. Yes.
Boom.
Seriously.
Yeah, you cleaned the
Now,
kitchen
just
before you went to
remember
bed.
bringing it in.
Oh, my God.
That's the challenge.
Dude.
That is the challenge.
Final step.
Miles, a man in Colorado, committed armed robbery, but his weapon was a little less than deadly.
What was his weapon?
Tell you about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, we made it to drinking time.
Yeah.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Big time it is, and as usual, we head to the Drinkcast. Scan Steve a Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And someone's correcting me here. It says, Thrill, you know that World Walrus Day is November 24th. I know. I was just trying to throw people off the beaten path there.
It's always nice when it lines up with Thanksgiving.
It really does, man. You
Every
can
once
eat some
every 7
walrus,
years.
hug a walrus.
Yeah, kiss one.
Today's shot is brought to you by the fine folks at Black Raven Brewing, proud brewers of Men's Room IPA and the Men's Room 20th Anniversary Lager. And today, we toast the top-flight Bulgarian soccer team, Arda Kardzali. Now, before their match this past Sunday, the players from both teams, they lined up at center field to observe a moment of silence in memory of a former player, one Petko Ganchev. It would have been a touching moment, but it turns out that Petko Ganchev is not dead. In fact, he had to Facebook the team before the game was over. It was after the half, but before the game was over, to let them know. So the team apologized, saying that they'd gotten the wrong information about his death, namely that he was dead at all. So the way he explains it, man, seriously, it was one of their top-flight soccer teams, right? It was a big national thing. He had a moment of silence, both teams out there, hands cradled over the trunk, looking down at their feet, and into the minute silence, and they announced why. The crowd kind of cheers because he was a popular player on their team. This guy was returning from the grocery store, and he said, my phone kept ringing. I saw it was my wife, but he's like, I didn't want to answer the phone because I didn't have a hands-free device. I pull into my driveway. My wife comes running out of the house crying, screaming, they're saying you're dead. And he's like, keep in mind, I have no idea. Wow. What she's talking about. You're dead. Everyone on TV said you're dead. He's like, well, obviously I'm not dead. So, he watched the clip and was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so he Facebooked the team and like, guys, not only am I not dead, but like, I'm in good health. And it's not like he's some 95-year-old dude. He's like, dude, I'm fine.
It just seems like in this day and age, it wouldn't be that hard to look up.
I have no idea how it happened, but yeah, they had a moment of silence for the man who's completely alive.
And he didn't even get to Huck Finn it and see it.
No, he didn't see it. That's the worst part, yeah. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party and our tummies. Down the hola bajola.
Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
All right, Eric, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
All right, you have your choice today of one of 3 categories. We have Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional object that someone chose to use as a weapon. Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. And finally today, License to Spill, where you guess the substance that made the mess.
Let's do License to Spill.
A mechanical issue with the transport truck's brakes caused a raging fire, which the driver safely escaped in California. But as the truck burned to the ground on the westbound lanes of I-580, its cargo soon escaped too. The truck had been carrying between 30 to 40,000 pounds of product, which basically melted as the blaze roared and then soon spread across the road, causing chaos during the busy morning commute. Now, a photo from the scene showed a burned-out truck on the shoulder of the road with a lumpy material spilling out into the nearby lanes. Quote, fortunately, no one was injured. Unquote. Anyway, the cleanup took much of the day. The blaze happened about 6:18 a.m., but more than 7 hours later, 2 lanes of the highway still remained closed. The question is, what was the truck hauling? Was it Legos, cell phones, chocolate, or vinyl flooring? So Legos, cell phones, chocolate, or vinyl flooring. What was this truck hauling that ended up melting when the truck caught on fire?
Ooh, that's a tough one because you said that it was lumpy and it had absolutely congealed into an entire one object.
Yeah, they said basically all the product.
What kind of flooring?
Vinyl flooring.
All right, so Legos, cell phone, chocolate, or
vinyl flooring. Yeah, one of those things ended up melting in the heat, pouring out of the back of the truck.
I think the Legos, just because they're all plastic, and then they would just melt, and then they would fuse back together when they cool down. That's my kind of initial thought.
Eric, I'm going to do the same theory, but with chocolate.
I'm going to do the same exact theory, but it's vinyl, dude.
Vinyl flooring.
It just seems like if you got it hot enough, it would mold into one and then expand.
What burned and melted on the highway? Legos, cell phones, chocolate, or vinyl flooring? We'll find out next.
That was The Women's Hoop Show, a podcast hosted by me, Jordan Robinson, brings you fresh women's basketball voices and breakdowns every week. I'll be joined by hoop experts all year long. Find The Women's Hoop Show on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW. KISW.
Category is licensed to spill out profile. This is a truck that brakes went bad. It caught fire. It burned. It spilled its contents. Took over 7 hours to clean up the mess, whatever that was. Question is, was the truck carrying Legos, cell phones, chocolate, or vinyl flooring?
And Eric, that is the question we posed to you, and sadly, we start with you. You went Legos, which is a fantastic guess. However, not Legos.
That would be an expensive load.
Real expensive, man. Let's see. V. Ted Smith, you went with vinyl flooring. It was not vinyl flooring. Miles Montgomery, you went chocolate. Chocolate. Yeah. And you correct, man. 40,000 pounds of chocolate.
Well, it probably dried on the road after it melted.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to try to peel it off because it's just reformed.
Well, you could drive over chocolate.
Man, it was 40,000 pounds of this stuff, right? And all of it melted and just went basically in a straight line across the highway. So it almost formed like a chocolate wall.
Ghirardelli closed down for the weekend. There you go. Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time of 10.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got the Jimmys.
Fallon and Kimmel.
Seth Meyers. Tomlinson.
Taylor.
Stephen Colbert. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right, though. The title is guys have teams and talents and writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Sorry, Mike. I don't hit the wheel on time every week.
Do you do it any week?
Little lag on that.
I feel confident this week. Don't know if you guys saw this, but a news reporter was somehow added to a text chain with the highest ranking officials in our government about war plans. Craziest part is the list was just named to-do list.
The Ted Smith.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, man. I was trying to think of a different name for the list. You up?
New phone, who dis list?
You want to have fun? 23andMe just filed for bankruptcy. The company's spokesman said they were 50% sad, 37% disappointed, and 13% Scottish.
Fallon.
Yeah, Fallon.
23andMe just filed for bankruptcy. Yeah, the company said that they were 50% sad, 37% disappointed, and 13% Scottish.
Go delete your stuff off of there if you have used that.
Yeah, they said, look, there's a time limit on the amount of time you can do it. If you don't do it in that time limit, yes, we're selling your crap to everyone else.
That was always the big fear of those places, was that they would get to insurance companies, and insurance companies would be like,
predetermined,
sorry,
right?
Predetermined. Like, we looked all the way through your ancestry. Forever 21 has filed for bankruptcy and plans to close all U.S. stores. It's too bad, but I got to say, they kind of jinxed themselves with that name. Just like my great-grandfather, Never Died Johnson.
Seth
Colbert.
Forever 21 has filed for bankruptcy and plans to close all U.S. stores. Oh, that's too bad. But I got to say, they kind of jinxed themselves with that name. Just like my great-grandfather, Never Died Johnson.
Diddy also had an album called Forever. Everyone is okay, but I heard visitors had to flee a new ride at Disney World after a fire broke out. The good news is, for $30, you could buy a picture of you and your family escaping the towering inferno.
Fallon.
You guys hear about this? Everyone is okay, but I heard that visitors had to flee a new ride at Disney World after a fire broke out. Yeah, but this is nice. For $30, you could buy a picture of you and your family escaping the towering inferno.
All right, Christina Applegate. Now, we know she has MS and has been struggling.
Yes.
So now she was on a messy podcast with Jamie Lynn Singer and said, basically, she says it has to do with MS. The doctors say it doesn't. And they're calling it double dragon.
The hell is double dragon?
Basically, she's like, her organs are slowing down their functions. And like, she goes, I have to poop. And if I have to poop, I puke. when I puke, I get all the pain. Then all these things happen. So basically, what we call the ultimate dilemma.
Okay.
I think they're calling a double dragon when you have to poop and vomit at the same time. Obviously, that's a terrible thing. But she said
especially if you didn't get to drink beforehand.
She's been hospitalized for it. So far in my lifetime, there's been 2 causes of the ultimate dilemma.
All right.
1, Miles is correct, alcohol. Number 2, Chinese food.
Food poisoning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe just the amount. But Jesus, man, that is an awful, awful feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if she's getting hospitalized, she said she's been she's had this condition for years. So I'm just like, oh.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah. I don't know if there's 2 worse things in life than that. Also brings up another reason that, like, even if you just moved into a place, you better get a trash can.
Not a wicker one.
Speaking of drinking, Blake Shelton, country star, also host of The Voice for years, also apparently an alcohol enthusiast.
I've heard that.
He's got his own vodka.
Is that what he has?
I have a bottle of it at home.
For some reason, I figured he was a whiskey guy.
He started out with vodka, but then that was 8 years ago.
I think he likes a little bit of everything, but the company he has right now, anyway, is doing vodka.
Is Sammy Hagar like the most successful? Because I wonder now, do people even associate Cabo Wabo tequila with him? Because he was so early in that game.
I mean, you bring it up kind of, but I want to say he sold his partnership and made bank.
He made $80 million.
$80 million.
Now, he was one of the first to do it, and that kind of started the entire thing. Like Terramana, what is The Rock's tequila?
Terramana.
Terramana. That's great tequila, by the way.
Knocked down a whole
But before that, Randy Gerber and George Clooney, Casamigos, they launched that. Then they sold that, and I want to say that was head and shoulders above what Sammy got. And so I don't know if anyone else has sold what interest they have in their liquors, but
it just seems like nowadays a lot of people, whether it's actors and musicians, have it. I'm saying Sammy Hagar, credit to him, like he was associated with that so long ago, but like it's been so long, I don't know that anybody. Like, I think people just drink it because they like it.
Yeah. It depends on the cut you get. And, the distributor, obviously, George Clooney is not in the business of making tequila. He partnered with someone.
Yeah, of course.
Same way that Jimmy Buffett did with Landshark Lager, which had its name on the Miami Stadium for a while. So they were doing very well. I'm sure he made a large percentage of money out of that.
I like Clooney. Like, the first time I heard him talk about it, too, basically, he was like, him and his buddy just drank so much tequila.
Yeah, we should just
start a company.
And they went around to different places and tasted them to find out who they wanted to actually talk to about partnering.
I mean, it's nice when you have the money to make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, probably 2-3 months in Mexico just getting drunk on tequila.
So there's another Justin Moore. He's another country artist. He was on The Voice. So basically, he was talking about. But he's just relaying a story. Blake Shelton's telling the story about, like, they get on the plane. I'll let him tell it, but it's pretty funny.
We rode on the airplane back home. The kid really tried to keep up with me. He really did. I mean, I when I get on the airplane and I know that I'm getting flown home, I'll just start drinking the second I get on the airplane, and so Justin was too. And pilot said, "Hey man, your buddy Justin Moore, he went back there in the bathroom and he threw up. Like he was back there puking when we landed." I was like, "Oh my God, what a moron! Like that is embarrassing." Our song is 99 Problems, but a beer ain't one. But it was definitely his problem that night.
Obviously, they're flying private.
Oh yeah.
If you tell the difference, like generally the pilot doesn't come out and go, "Hey man, your buddy's puking." Right? Yeah. I mean, he's legendary for it. You can imagine, and on a private jet too. It's like, I guess you get all you want.
You're not going to need to wait for anybody to come and serve you.
Nope.
Yeah, nobody's really going to cut you off either. I mean, it's your private jet.
You're paying for the full experience.
So let's see. So you remember last year we had the Pooh movie that was like a horror movie,
Blood and Honey. Yes,
correct. So the new Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse has become a brutal murderer in the upcoming horror flick Screamboat.
Screamboat. Like Steamboat Willie, but Screamboat.
You got it. Willie's victims will include knockoff Disney princesses, described as party princesses. So basically, here's their name. Mike, you know all the princesses. Give me one.
I'm on it. Jasmine.
Oh, of course she's not on the list.
How about Snow White? Let's go easy there.
You know what? My bad. Jasmine is on there. She's just going to be Jazzy.
Jazzy. Okay.
Yeah, they're not taking a lot of stuff there. Cinderella will be Cindy. Keep in mind, do not see this movie with anybody that likes Disney products or a child. These are knockoff princesses that will be murdered.
Aurora?
Which one's Aurora?
Sleeping Beauty.
Yep. She's just going to be Rory.
It's not hard to find a princess on Aurora, is it?
Princess for the hour.
Yeah.
Tiana on there?
Is that Little Mermaid?
No, that's Princess and the Frog.
No, not that one.
Little
but
Mermaid's Ariel.
You have Belle for Beauty and the Beast. What do you think they're going to call her?
Bella.
Bella.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they haven't been really far off, right? Cinderella's not Cinderella. She's Cindy. Jasmine is Jazzy. Bella for Belle. And then Ariel from Little Mermaid.
Areola.
Ari?
Ariana.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, it's pretty simple. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird list. It's like you got to come up with fake names.
Well, legally they do, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they couldn't use the Disney princesses, and Steamboat Willie is now public domain.
Right.
Correct.
They stole my thunder, haha.
Well, that's the thing. You can't, so these characters are now in public domain, but you haven't lost, the rights to them. You know what I mean? So, Pooh, I don't think it was Winnie the Pooh or something, right? It was just Pooh, blood and guts. Everything's kind of a little bit off. So you could call him Willie, but it's just a little bit different.
Right.
Screamboat Willie.
That's going to be good.
I'll tell you what,
it.
Scream's kind of back right now. It's having a moment.
Aren't they? Yeah, are they making a new one or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then there was that teacher that was... that female that was trying to have sex with the students. And
Not their
was
best advertising, but yeah.
I lost a bunch of weight and wanted kids to have sex with me when I was wearing a Scream mask. Yeah, you're right. Not great. I'm just saying it's been in the news.
Right.
Not saying it's back for good. You should watch it. Another show. This came out in 2016. There's only one season of it. You got to look around. It might be on your streaming service. It might be on one of the old man channels, as I call it. But Blood Feuds. So it's about these classic feuds you know about. Obviously, the main one, or the one episode, is going to be about the Hatfields and McCoys.
All right.
Right, which is very interesting. Miles, I did not realize how closely you grew up to the Hatfields.
I know tons of them.
Yeah, I know.
I'm McCoys. More McCoys than Hatfields.
All right, I thought the McCoys were the ones that lived in Kentucky.
Well, I mean,
they all live together now.
It's a river that is 20 feet wide.
All right.
So that's why it flooded. But, I mean, literally, if you are in that community, you are just from that area. So whether you're on one side of the river or not, it doesn't really matter from taxation purposes or anything like that. One's not more expensive than the other. So people cohabitate there. You could live in West Virginia and go to school in Kentucky. They have that partnership.
Okay.
So, even though you're a West Virginia citizen or vice versa, you can cross the river and go to whatever school you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I know that story, but every time you watch it, it is pretty interesting. But they had some good ones on there, too. Learned about a guy named Nate Champion. He was part of, you probably heard of the Jefferson County War.
No.
So it's out in Wyoming and stuff. Basically, you don't realize this, but back in the day in the late 1800s, there's a lot of settlers, right? So you read all the stories about the settlers and stuff, but what they don't really teach you, which I've been kind of learning watching these shows, is that you have all these cattlemen that are out there too. But the cattlemen need the area, right?
Yeah.
So these settlers are out there, and they kind of have a couple cows, but eventually these cattlemen move in from other states. They're barons. They have all this money. So basically, this guy and his friends were like, well, we only have 40 head of cattle. If they run through with hundreds of them, they're going to overtake ours.
Right.
So they they were like, you guys are stealing our cattle. Now, if you get one when it's a calf, and you brand it before they do, that becomes your calf.
Yeah.
That's mavericking, as I've learned. So they did that, but they didn't all out steal cattle. But the rich guys could just kind of print the papers and be like, hey, they're stealing cattle or whatever. So this guy ends up getting gunned down and writes a last note in a diary as he's taking bullets through it. You're just like I was watching last night getting pissed off. It's basically the same thing you see nowadays, right? Now we call them billionaires.
Right.
But I mean, it's the same kind of thing where it's that guy, he's a settler. That's his, how are they supposed to live?
Right.
Because if you have all the cows, they needed cows too. So you can hear it in my voice. Start getting frustrated. I was like, they're not allowed to have cows? But for the everyday man, they champion, legend, love them. Blood feud.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Florida man shines his bat signal after getting a notice from his HOA. Meanwhile, a Florida man robs a Dairy Queen of $1.50 and doesn't get away. Colorado man attempts to rob a store with his finger gun. In Missouri, a group of weed-smoking moms. They're having some fun. And a woman is caught shoplifting. Also, she left her 2 kids in a locked, hot car. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
All right, our top story, we go to Colorado, where some robbers just do not come prepared. Police got a call about a robbery at a local store, and the story goes that the man approached the clerk behind the counter, pointed his weapon at him, and began stealing items. He then fled in his vehicle, which was eventually tracked down by officers. Police attempted to pull him over, but he continued in his attempt to evade arrest, eventually getting barricaded by police vehicles and forcibly removed from the car, placed under arrest. He's facing multiple charges, though I'm not sure they can add the deadly weapon detail to the report, as a robbery was committed using a finger gun.
That's one way to get out of it.
I at least hope it was in his jacket. You know what I mean? Point the pocket at
do
people.
you think he just had his hand out there? Like,
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I'm not positive. The fact that they say, like, it looks like a finger gun.
Where did this happen?
This happened in Colorado.
Okay. Changes my perspective.
Says that he used a finger gun.
So, if it were New Jersey, they'd have, like, broken his hand.
Right.
And I'm just like, depending where you are, breaking out a finger gun is going to end really, really poorly.
It is.
You threatened me with your fingers.
A finger gun.
Yeah. Give me the money.
Can you be charged with having a weapon? No.
Right?
I mean, I know what you're insinuating.
The one charge you can't really get, like, what? My weapon or my hands?
Right. I didn't really do it.
Yeah, I mean.
In other news, not to be outdone, we go to Florida, where a woman came packing, but she didn't take much. She stands accused of walking into her local Dairy Queen location and holding it up at gunpoint. She threatened the cashier to open up the register, but apparently didn't want to wait long enough for them to open it, because in lieu of cash from the till, the woman instead settled for the tip jar sitting on the counter, nabbing it and fleeing the scene. Luckily for them, people weren't quite as generous with their cash tips, and she only made off with about $1.50. Regardless, officers were able to track her down and arrest her, and she's now facing several charges of her own.
That's worth $1.50.
She had a real gun.
She did.
If you're gonna use a finger gun, just take the tip jar with $1.50.
Yes.
Right? Because even if I'm working at the Dairy Queen counter, like, you're not gonna do anything with a finger gun. But
right,
if this $1.50 will get you to leave, take it.
If you're gonna steal the tip jar with $1.50 on it, just grab the damn thing and leave.
Right?
What's the hold up?
You just added a gun charge.
Right.
For $1.50. I'm telling you, man, we need the and you're stupid charge.
We do.
It's another 90 days in jail, right? And some kind of civil service you need to do when you're dumb. Because it's
right.
You make humanity look bad, not because we're not capable of doing bad things, but you got to be smarter than that.
Right.
Correct. Come on.
No, you know what? You need to take a common sense class when you're there in the jail system, right. And you don't get to get out till you pass it.
With flying colors.
That's right. You better get 100%. Theft, and more theft. We stick with Florida. Police were called after a loss prevention officer stopped a woman attempting to leave her local Walmart. She'd been observed walking through the grocery section of the store, swapping out barcodes on some of the items that she then gathered into a cart and took to the self-checkout. It's an old trick that isn't exactly foolproof, but she basically put a barcode for bananas on the items that she wanted to discount.
You peel off the banana and then put it over top or on a certain area of the box, whatever you got, scan that.
Or you just type in the code for a cheaper nut.
Exactly. Attempting to leave the store with about $80 worth of unpaid merchandise. Officers were called and she was arrested, but her protests while being arrested were not for her own freedom, no, but out of concern for her children. Officers then rushed to her car, where they found her 2 toddlers locked in the car with the windows up, turned off, and in about 85-degree weather.
Jesus, man, come on!
Noted the feeling of hot air rushing out of the car as they opened up the doors and took the children out of the vehicle, drenched in sweat. They're both believed to be okay after getting to a more natural temperatures, and the woman is facing even more charges. At least she had the wherewithal to say, "Get my kids out of the car." Like, Jesus. Because that would have been another disaster added on top of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
But,
Jesus, man.
You know, I didn't think I was going to be in there that long. Well, you stole from your Walmart. Okay. Good job.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're stealing at a Walmart.
Yeah.
Poor decisions been made a long time before you got to that point.
That's true. We go to the lovely world of the internet, where a man has sought revenge on his HOA. He's a well-followed influencer on TikTok. I've actually seen a handful of his videos myself, mainly for his exercise and diet videos. But he sparked a little more interest when he informed his followers that he had received a fine from his HOA thanks to his trash cans being visible from the road. Apparently, that's just a no-go. He was told that he can either erect a fence, costing plenty of money, or store them in his garage where his home gym is located. Instead, he chose the petty route, and he erected a bat sanctuary. He did this because he knows that they're protected, rendering his HOA powerless to tell him what to do with it. So it's just standing up there. They can't do a damn thing about it. I can't say I disagree with this guy. Good on you. Well done. But just in case those stories just a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
There's a group of moms in Missouri that are trying to turn the tables. The numbers are in, and it turns out that women are outpacing men in marijuana usage. I wonder why.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
You bet. Marijuana consumption has been the subject of scrutiny for some time, and the ones that seem to feel it the most at the moment are mothers. Comments are being made from a group in Missouri that mothers are held to a higher standard when it comes to responsibility and sobriety, but this group is looking to undo some of that stigma. They've started setting up scheduled, quote, Canamom game nights, in which these ladies find their way to a common home, light up and enjoy the night of games away from the responsibilities of home.
Hey, look, man, if you're going to have like a holiday cookie party, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't have some wine, but you're making cookies. Get stoned.
Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, make it like, all right.
Enjoy yourself.
Maybe I'll throw this in there. Try this.
Men's Room Sports are brought to you by the fine folks at Sports on What. You've got NBA basketball, MLB spring training, college tournament hoops, and NHL hockey featuring your Seattle Kraken on tonight. Find out when and where to watch all of those sports in one convenient location. It is called the Sports on What app. As far as your weather, hope you enjoyed this nice day outside, because we're looking at mostly overcast skies tonight with some light fog developing in the middle of the night to bring temperatures down to about 49. Then tomorrow, we got a mostly cloudy day with a high of around 68. And a good chance of a thunderstorm rolling through the area as well, so get ready for a light show. And from what I hear, a tornado coming through downtown.
Awesome.
That's it for your headlines with that. Good luck. Mike Hawk is out.
Chance
of a tornado.
We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we'll be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.